you know what? I think I've been talking this whole time and the fucking mic's been muted. So, welcome to the stream. Look at this, isn't it pretty? Look, we've got the chat up and everything. This is Restream. This is free, and I'm streaming to two platforms. I'm streaming to YouTube, and for the first time ever, I'm streaming to my Facebook as well. So this is I've used Restream once in the past, a long time ago, when StreamYard was starting, and at the time StreamYard was better than Restream. But now I look at Restream, and I think maybe you get less hours free, but you can record. You can't record while you're live, but you can pre-record. And you can stream to two platforms as well for free, and you can put the chat up on the screen like this, so everybody can see the conversation without having to share a page, or it's a pain in the ass. In StreamYard you can't do it, but here in Restream, there you go. There's the chat, and there's a nice animated background as well. The only thing is I can't stream in HD. I have to upgrade to stream in HD. So you get some of the bells and whistles, but not all of them. We've got 3 people watching now. Don't be shy. Come into the chat room. Let me know who you are. Let me know who's here watching. Don't just be a lurker. I'm just going to go into my phone and make sure I'm streaming. See what the sound quality is like coming through, seeing as there's nobody's talking to me. Here we go. Right, it's that only just gone live. Right, it looks like we've got some this little Clarice, how you doing? Bit of Venom, good to see you. Is that Jency Tordai? Hi there. So I can hear it on my phone, I can hear the audio is, it's not clipping, but there's something going on funny with it. So I'm going to turn off this background music. Turn off this background music. And plug in my thing again. Plug in the microphone again. Here we go. That's nice and clear now. So yeah, welcome. 7 people watching. We Are Awake TV. A salute back to you. How you doing? Good to see you. This is my first time streaming on Restream, and the fact that I can put the chat up like that. That's just brilliant, man, for free. And the fact that I am streaming to 2 platforms for free, that's just brilliant. Let me just make sure that I am on Facebook as well. So this is an open panel. There is a link. There's a link in the chat. If you scroll up, there's a link from the host, me. So if you want to join me, this is an open panel. Show my face. You want me to show my face? Right. Anybody that wants to come on, I'll just say now, anybody that wants to come on, before look, I'm going to show my face. Here you go, because I'm the host and I'm not worried about being on camera. How you doing? But anybody else, before I bring you onto the cage, I see you there. So before I bring you in, can you do me a favor in the back, in the green room there, and just let me see your face? Put your camera on just for a second, just so I can see a real human being sat there, and also get some idea of how old the real human being is, who is sat there. That's the only stipulation I've got for coming on the stream. Anybody who I don't know. Voynich sent me. Voy, are you here, dude? Yeah, Voynich sent me. Bought you some traffic. All right, mate. Go on then. Here we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you just fine, dude. Nice to meet you, Cage.
Restream the trio. So.
I'm going to get my earphones. I'm just going to get my earphones so that I can hear you clearer. Right, sorry about that.
Yeah, brother.
Can you hear me? Hear me cool?
Yep.
Have we got a bit of a delay?
Loud and clear.
Brilliant. So, Cage, where are you from? What part of the US?
I'm not in the US, actually.
Oh, I'm jumping to conclusions. Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
Okay. I apologise. Sorry. Calling you American when you're Canadian. Classic mistake. Classic mistake. Toronto, man. How?
I like it in there. Yeah.
Say that again. Sorry.
You have the Metatron cube in your logo.
Oh, in yeah, in my in my avatar. That's I've got Sarah. She was a girl that I was working with earlier this year, and we were doing the show together. I've got her to thank for that. She's a really good designer, and she's done a few logos for a couple of YouTubers like Bernie. She's done Bernie's logo and the stuff for his stream for the outside, like a PNG to go around the outside, like the outline of the. You can do it for free actually here on StreamYard. These, hang on, where is it? Overlay. There we go. You can put these. Is it going to go on? There it is. Yeah, you can put these, funny overlays on that go around the sides. I'll tell you what I can do now, which actually might make it better with my audio. Echo cancellation. Bit of echo cancellation there. Are you still there? Can you hear me, Cage? No, we got nothing. We got nothing. Right. Okay, mate. Cage is just going to switch browsers. Gency, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Gency. You're not experiencing any lag. It's all right with you, yeah? All good, Gency's end. Right, Cage is back. I can hear you.
Browsers to see if it.
Yeah.
Okay. There's all
I can hear you there.
up, I think.
Yeah, it's I'm a bit better than I'm saying voice meter's great, but the here's Voy. We'll see what happens when we bring Voy in. All right, mate, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Ah, mate, that's crystal. That's crystal and instant.
I know. Because you know what the whole. Yeah.
If I take the chat off the overlay, that might help.
No. Okay. I know. Every time this seems to be a problem is when the people have mics plugged in and earphones plugged in. And I'm not technical at all, but I just use the thing and I don't change anything. If you don't change anything and just click the link, it works. When you try to plug in things and change the settings, usually that is what and I think that you know way more about audio than I do. I mean, I would totally acknowledge that. So
all I'll say is, Voy, I totally get you, and I'm like a little bit jealous because I did that, and it turned out that I ended up having to get making sure I had a microphone and earphones because once you're streaming with a lot of people, and especially when they are using microphones, when people are using dedicated microphones, it messes it up for the people that aren't using them.
So probably it's something about the settings on your microphone because every time you speak any word, it sounds like it plugs in. You know, like it's the first word you speak. You know what I'm saying?
Is it doing it now? Is it every time I speak
now?
Or
constantly. It's constantly. With every word you start to speak, it crackles.
I sound him. He sounds fine on the hand.
No, it sounds. I mean, I can hear him fine, but it's not good audio. To be honest.
Because this Restream, it's a free program.
Yeah. I've taken the echo cancellation and the noise
Now it's
suppression
off.
off.
Now it's
Now,
gone.
now it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, just wiggled. I wiggled the cable a
Told
little
you,
bit.
don't do it. Don't start fucking with the other and say, oh, if you're a pro, use the settings. No, if you're a pro, you don't start fudging with the settings, because you're first gonna, I mean, yeah, this works way better. I know you're a pro. I know you're a pro, and I'm not. This now you canceled the actual settings. It's better. Yeah.
This is well. I haven't actually changed anything. All I did was wiggle I moved the cable, the plug in the bottom of the thing, because all the other settings were turned off. Because what happens is when you put noise suppression on, and when you put echo cancellation on, there's an algorithm that runs, and that confuses the sound, and that's why having a dedicated mic and earphones is good, because it means you can turn both of those off.
Yeah,
and that will make the sound better. But as long as it's okay now.
It's better than it used to be.
Yeah,
it's not perfect. Yeah.
Go on, Cage. What are you going to say?
I was wondering what painting is in the background.
Yeah,
right behind
it's
you.
like one of those pencil drawings or pen drawings.
I think it's a lithograph. Right?
That's it. That's the name, lithograph.
Yeah.
What does it say? Is it Dutch?
Yeah. It says laziness, emptiness. Laziness, emptiness. It's a very moralistic.
Well, yeah, I want
picture.
to know. I'm not trying to be lazy. I'm trying to know what it is.
So,
the thing is, it's mirrored. The image is mirrored, so we're seeing it backwards. We're seeing it in reverse. It's not. It's actually.
Play stupid now, Nick.
No, I'm not. No.
Tell me the truth. I see your guy. Fuck. Okay, I want to know. I want to know what it means. What is this? What is it called? Who created it? So I can do
Okay. I will translate it for you. You incredulous.
Yeah.
You incredulous thing. So it says here on the top. It says, "Why don't you stay in front of this mirror and think how it will go with you?" And then it says this big word, laziness. And then it says, laziness will bring humankind into defined dire, definite dire straits. I'm trying to translate this old kind of Dutch into current English. So, excuse me. Sloth and dude, I don't know these words. They will give you poorness and no, dude, it's too hard to translate. But it's like a very moralistic.
Some Dutch.
Yeah.
In a picture.
No, it's got some meaning. It's got so much meaning to it. Okay, it's got so much meaning to it. It's so moralistic that I cannot translate it in current day English.
You can't translate it to actual words. You have to learn it for yourself.
I can. Tell me no, I can. I truly can. But it's. I mean, you surprised me with it. If I would have to translate it in Dutch, or no problem. But I'm not that well.
Something about laziness and looking into the mirror.
Cage.
Yeah, and
a couple of people are just saying. Sorry, boy.
It's about how you acquire richness, and you just need to work hard and be truth. And of course, we know that's not true.
Cage, can you do me a favor, mate? Can you do me? Are you using a headphones or anything, or are you just using the microphone on? Is it your phone or your computer or something? It's just a couple of people are saying that you're breaking up.
Oh, shit.
I can hear you. I can hear you clearly. I can hear you quite clearly, mate. I don't. It's just a couple of different people are saying that it's breaking up a bit.
Touch anything.
It's fine. It's fine this end, man. For me,
I could leave another browser.
Well, I'm using Brave right now, so I don't know if you've got a Brave browser. It works. It seems to work all right with Brave. StreamYard doesn't work with Brave. Well, it does, but you can't share. You can't share the audio and stuff when you share screens. But apparently Restream does. So, not Restream. Apparently Brave does with Restream.
That's another nice piece you got out there, Vorner.
That's a rabbit hole. Just took you down a rabbit hole.
Christos.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I just wanted to let you guys know that Cage's mic is messed up and we can hardly. Not that we needed to hear him. Not that we needed to hear him anyway, but it's just.
Are you two having a little
No,
thing going on between
like
you two? Is there?
She was just saying
around, but no,
that
seriously.
your mic started cutting.
It's happening to both of you now. Both your mics are cutting out now as you're talking a little bit. So. Oh,
That's odd. People
so anyway, listen, it's Friday.
Behind you.
Go on, Cades. What was that?
I was going to say, how many people actually funding? How many people have asked for Nick online? Probably no one.
Yeah, you're probably right there. I know I haven't asked before, but I'll tell you what, though, to be fair, we don't often get to see Voynich because most of the time he's not on camera. And when he is on camera, he's always in a different, he's not always in the same place, I don't think. I'll be honest, I've not actually noticed that picture before. It's not.
I'm one shifty motherfucker, guy.
First time I saw him shifter.
Shifty mother. Oh man, look at that too. Restream just says
this
to me,
Restream.
Oops, there's something wrong with the connection. Hang on, while we just reconnect you. Yeah. It's free. It's free, man.
That's good enough.
Maybe if you pay for it, they give you more bandwidth. Maybe.
That's good. Shifty is not necessarily.
Oh, dude, you're cutting out bad there. And I don't know where Void's gone. So,
Oh, I'm here. Sorry, I'm here.
You're here. Yeah.
I think that he wants to say that shifty is not necessarily a bad thing. So, I think he wants to say something like that.
Shifty's not a bad thing, man. Shifty's just private. A lot of people just, if somebody's very private, people think, well, he's a bit shifty. people probably think I'm shifty. Just looking at me, they just think, oh, he looks like a shifty motherfucker. I don't care. So, lads,
you
listen,
look like
it's
a
Friday.
Shaolin monk or something.
Shaolin monk. Is that
I
because
like
I've
those.
I can see you
shaved
in
my hair
the temple. I can see.
with a saffron?
I know people. Like, I know. I've seen people look just like you're, like crazy, like salts and shit. I can see you being one of
No,
those.
he's just to me he's just a total pirate. He's just this total pirate. So, I mean, you don't know his last. Do you know his last name? I mean, why the hell can he only survive on some of this Mediterranean island somewhere in the Pacific Ocean? Why I'm looking like that with such a surname? I mean, that's no coincidence, dude.
The
He's
thing is, dude,
he's still looking. He's still digging for a treasure. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, he's still digging for that treasure somewhere there on Tenerife.
the thing is as well is that I didn't bring myself to this island. I didn't bring myself here. It's like somebody. I was in a really bad place. Somebody picked me up and dropped me off here, and I'm like shipwrecked.
Yeah.
Your mission was out of either way you boarded the ship.
I think I was meant to be here. I know that.
Maybe you were taken away from the island by a bunch of pirates, and this is your return. You know?
Yeah, maybe. Where's my treasure? I
want
my treasure.
Keep digging,
They've taken
Rich.
your essence back to Malkuth for a reason. You have a reason, and you know.
Give Richie his treasure back, guys.
I mean, I don't need all of it. I just, just enough to pay the rent would be good, man. So I didn't have to beg everybody else to help me, just enough to be able to just scrape through by myself. I'd be happy with that.
He's not a real pirate, It was just.
But what do pirates do? They go and want something in life. If you have to go and take it regardless.
Well,
no one's gonna give it to you.
Pirates are the ones that took over the world. Pirates are called buccaneers too, right? Remember the part of buccaneers. It's not the pirates that took over, but the buccaneers. And let me tell you something etymologically. Fuck it.
Etymologically.
Etymology.
Etymologically, yes. Christos has got it.
Got it. That let me tell you something about that. So buccaneers, it means book. The ones that ruled the books. Buccaneers. It's a Dutch word. It's a book. We don't use it anymore, but it used to be a Dutch word. So the buccaneers are way worse than the pirates. The pirates, they have still have some honor, but the buccaneers, they will change.
The buccaneers are the ones that collated and collected everything that the pirates stole, because the pirates were working directly for the monarchy.
What about the Vikings?
The Vikings, personally for me, the Vikings is a narrative. It's not true. It's they've taken a story, they've taken the truth, and they've assigned it to a false narrative to help further their own.
So the Vikings would just address that the pirates' war not to be recognized as pirates, right? So they would be called Vikings. So that the Buccaneers.
That's why I mentioned it.
So that the Buccaneers. So that the world story would be, those were the Vikings, but the Buccaneers could just scribe that under their, it's just, if it happens in real life, you could name it something else in the books or in history, right?
Yeah.
So that's what that is.
Yeah. We've been played completely, totally and utterly played, and they fed us these narratives. They fed us these Hollywood stories, and before Hollywood, it was romantic novels and stuff before, and before Hollywood it was it was the radio. Before that it was literature, with the romantic stories that were written in literature, all to drive our and then and they had the world's fairs and everything, all to drive our perception of what's happened, so that we
Well,
got this
you leave out.
completely.
You leave. I know what you're saying, but you leave out the papers and the cinema, and those were actually
Oh
the
yeah,
most
yeah,
important.
a media. Well, it's media, isn't
Yeah,
it? Or media. It's
yeah,
media. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the
And
beginning of
it's
a
just
printing press to write things down. They've been
exactly. Yeah.
manipulating it. Just basic human nature things. It's just human psychology. They hold
Yeah.
information away from people. It's a weapon. Knowledge is a weapon. So if you keep people in the weaponize it against them, because you want to be better than them. You want.
Well, and there's also a story in the Bible. It's about the media and the Persians, right?
Mm.
So, how does that relate to the media and the press?
It's called the press for a reason, because they're a certain reality into you.
Yeah, but how weird is it that the media and the press totally related to making laws, right? Because
It's
they
not
will
that weird. It makes
agitate some.
sense to me.
Yeah, well, no, it's not. But since these words are called the media and the press, but in the Bible they're talking about Medea and Persia, and they made the laws.
Mm-hmm.
And there was always one that would win and one that would lose, and the one that would lose would make the new rules.
It's the same
This is the story,
thing, though, really.
dude. This is the story.
It's the same exact.
It's the same as it is now,
same, yeah, because
right?
look at it, like the media. Right? If you're doing art, right? If you're to paint a picture, you have to use certain media and a canvas.
Yeah.
But you can use different types of media. That's where it all comes from. Even in art, you're going to use a pencil. You're going to use paint. What are you going to use? Right? Different type of media. Now, what do they have? They have newspapers. They have the traditional news outlets that ran people. But now it's changing in this new order. Now they're taking to social media, which are way more powerful. Right now, this is like their greatest dream ever. People. Information is flying through everyone's brains all the time. You know, I mean, especially with this what we have now in our purse, in our pocket.
Yeah, man. You're cutting out a little bit every sort of fifth or sixth word. You're cutting out a little bit, but I got the gist of what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, it's always been like I've been saying. It's all to control our perception. That's the sole. That's the end game. It's always the end game, because the only thing that matters is how we're perceiving the world individually.
That's why
Because then
it's called. That's why it's called. You're exactly correct. The whole point. See, you know. So my clue about it. What's the solution?
to take control of your own perception, that is the only solution, and the only way you can do that is by absorbing as much information as you can and using your own discernment. And once you're in a place where once you're in a place where you are able to observe what's going on and recognize that there's deception and there's you, and you recognize yourself. Once it's all so, it's deep, man. You have to turn inwards. You have to really know yourself, know
That's
all the little
exactly
nooks and crannies of why you are the way you are.
you have to learn the game that which is the game on your own mind to reprogram your subconscious. Years, you're talking my language now.
Absolutely, reprogram the subconscious, because it's the subconscious that's driving you. Like, what is it? It's either 70 or 90% of the time. It's you're doing everything on autopilot, and that's down to all the reactions, anything. That's why they've weaponized the language, so that they're able to create trigger words and trigger phrases to cause like mechanical emotional reactions from people. That you say a word, like you say flat earth, and people, you fucking idiot, you think the earth is flat, didn't you ever go to school? And these are
Well, that's
mechanical
why
reactions
that term
because
that's why that term was designed deep into it. It's to elicit that emotion. Social engineering techniques that are being instilled upon us, and they're very, very smart at this stuff, right? You're talking about these people have known this stuff for a very long in order to control people and through the subconscious mind and all that. Program you have to beat, right? You have to know every little. It's a very difficult endeavor. It's not that. It's as hard as you make it on yourself. And
go on, carry on.
no, continue.
I was just gonna say it's so, because, like, if we can recognize that, then we have to say, right, we in that case, our emotions are potentially dangerous, because that, if the lower chakra emotions, fear and hatred and anger and jealousy, and all these ones that can be triggered in us, they're that's our downfall. That's, that they're not a good thing when you don't have control of them. So you have to be able to control your own being, your own state of being, like to be able to recognize when you get angry. You can't deny yourself getting angry, because it might be something righteous that you're angry about, but what you express, what you allow to manifest into the realm, you have control over that. And that's all part of your free will. It's your choice to express that anger. But the trouble is, most of us, we think, no, I didn't have a choice, man. He made me so angry. What choice did I have? I didn't have a choice. You did. You always have a choice. Like, we always have a choice. If you don't have control of your emotions, if you don't have control of your anger, then you don't have a choice. But then that means that you've got no free will in that case. Then you have to admit that you've got no free will, because somebody would be able to do that to you. So to exercise your free will, you have to have, yeah. And so exercising your free will is, and it's not easy to have control of. I don't have control of my emotions. I'm not about to sit here and say I'm Zen 100% of the time, man. I can just stay on top of it all the time. I can't. It's really, really difficult. But that's the whole point. Our entire lives have been made to be difficult, to allow us to experience the difficulty. The only way we're going to be able to do this is if we're put into a situation that gives us an opportunity to, whilst experiencing chaos around us, we're a calm, stable, ship just floating in the middle. Totally, our state of being is totally unchanged. We are the point of order. Like we're the 0 point of energy where it's neutral. We're able to see what's going on around us, but it doesn't. We don't engage emotionally with it. We're able to detach from it and observe it, but not contribute to it in a negative way. Because anytime you express anger, it's just adding to the negativity, isn't it? Christos is back.
No matter what energy you put out, there's a proper way of going about mutation, like you said. These terms like Zen and use was and all that. I guess you could use these terms, but it all is a thing that's constant regardless. And these are new ways. We call them like news now. Doesn't mean they don't. But one way or another, that's done very purposefully. In order to defeat an enemy, you need an opposing force. You could be in order to protect you and the person. You use more of a circular motion and redirect back to them and for them. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, the best way is to be able to, if the energy that somebody's giving you is negative, it's always best to try to transmute that energy into either neutral or positive energy. So let's say your friend comes to you and they're really angry about something. They're not angry with you, but they're angry about something. And so you transmute that anger that you're getting from them, because maybe they are directing the anger at you. They don't realize what they're doing, but they're directing the anger at you. And so it's making you feel angry because you're like, whoa, hey, it wasn't me, man. Why are you having a go at me? And you transmute that energy, the anger that it's making you feel, but you give it back as nothing but positivity. Or depending on the situation, or neutral, depending on the situation.
Depending on the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And this is teaching you this especially because it's more of an esoteric, and you can apply these principles to all faith outside of this one and here right now. Exactly how you should deal with things, like interpersonal relationship, acquaintances, even people online, anywhere. Right? If you're always just trying to fight, oppose, it's never going to work. You have to use their energy against opinion.
You just cut out a little bit then, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Are you using headphones? Have you got a cable plugged in?
No cable.
Because it might just be a little... No cable, you're just going straight through the... Right, all right, no worries.
Hold on, give me a minute. I'll fix it, and I'll actually make the microphone hear me properly. Hold on.
Voy? Christos? Ice lightning. Ice lightning, that reminds me, that makes me think of the John Travolta song from Grease. Go grease lightning, hail grease lightning, roll grease lightning, da 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 da. You know? Are you there? Can you hear me? Here he is. He's back. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
All right. What about now?
Hey, that is beautifully sweet and clear.
There we go.
Yes, mate, that's
Should've-
much
I should've-
better.
So then I would have been coherent and everyone could have actually heard what I was saying, for God's sake. Yeah.
Christos keeps dropping out, coming back in, dropping out, coming back in. I don't know what voice that is. He's probably making a sandwich or something. JP, just JP, how you doing, man? Yes, mate, good to see you, dude. And good to see you as well on the camera there, Christos. So, has anybody got any exciting plans for the weekend?
Same old, same. But Voy, I listened to Voy's advice, and I just never. I didn't even change the African a lot better. He said, "Don't." You said at the beginning, "Don't touch anything."
Yeah. I don't know, man. I swear these, we like we say, we're using free software, so it's bound to glitch. Plus, there's all the other factors into it. All the energy that's around, all the electromagnetic frequencies, all the fucking everything. We can't expect things. Yeah, we can't expect things. I like to think that the energy in our groups is vibing so high that it affects it. That it's the energy coming off of us. We're affecting it. I swear that some of the time when you're on the phone and stuff, if you're on WhatsApp or Signal or Telegram and you're on a phone call or a video call and it just keeps getting grabbled and grabbled and grabbled, I think that's the energy coming off of us. Our own aura is affecting the electromagnetic frequency to the phone, But that might just be complete la la land.
Well, not really. Some of these things are actually they have been proven. And your mind does give off electromagnetic. The first radio was actually based off the human mind. There's a mix in every cell of all mammals' minds, and it does. Yeah, there's something to either enhance or completely turn off certain things with magnetic fields. When it comes to transference of information, with
Yeah,
for example, like birds, they navigate through that also, like a lot of, in a way too. And
like
every thought that could ever
like the way starlings fly, the way when the starlings are flying, they move like fish do in the water, and it's the same with fish.
Yeah.
How is it that they all turn at exactly the same time?
They're going with the magnetic field.
Yeah, it's magnetics, but it could also, couldn't it be like an electromagnetic pulse that like telepathy almost, Like
the mind
we're going this way.
becomes one. Like for example, in university, it's like with neuroscience tests, and pretty much if they induce a signal which is around the same resonance that the Earth gives off, things become one. They'll have one person in a dark. Well, they'll have two people in a dark room measuring their EEG, like the brain signals, right? They'll induce a certain magnetic field, and then they'll flash a light in one room, right? And the other person completely in this magnetic field. As soon as they flash that light in that room, both minds have the same response. So it's probably based off something like that.
Yeah. there's
connected.
I've got absolutely no doubt in my mind. I know from personal experience that our minds are connected. Some connections
they
are
are.
stronger than others. Some connections are stronger than
Oh, you
others,
can
but
fuck with it. You can fuck with it. I can. I don't do it on people because I don't think it's ethical. But you can make technology to really mess with it. Anyone can. It's all inherently there.
I mean, you can do it just through pure focus and attention.
Yeah, I know.
Just purely focusing your mind on somebody, you know, it's dangerous. That's why they're so scared of us. Because what we can actually do, if people really knew what they were capable of, their minds would explode. That's
It'd
why
be
none
game
of us are
over.
really fully
You
aware.
couldn't even fathom it. If one of you two, if you guys, we could do this experiment, actually prove it in real time instead of just talking. You two have a dice. I implore you to get the dice out and roll it on camera, and we'll make whatever you want. Show you probabilities, bullshit, and what our mind can do. Yep, I'll do fucking telekinesis if you want to call it, whatever name you want to put on it. We can do it right now, real time. Showing many people that it always works. All we have to do is all three of us right here. We visualize it and then we make it happen. Simple.
And the important thing about that is that the three of us are in. We're when I say in on it, it's not in on it that it's it's a trick. I mean that our hearts and minds all agree on the same thing, that we can do this, that we're absolutely capable of doing this. If all three of our hearts and minds agree on that,
it's in your hand. Try it.
I don't have any dice, unfortunately. Yeah, well, it would be
cool,
but I don't have any dice.
Someone must have one.
I got nothing. Voy might have something. Christos is a crystal, so frost lightning crystal.
Yeah, we can do it in real time, though, guaranteed.
How you doing there, man? Is it snowing where you are? No. He's always got that when he laughs like that, man. That's just whenever I think of Christos, I think of that when he laughs. That face. Where the fuck has Boy gone? Come on, Boy.
Christos is in the car,
If I could get anything, I would, man. I'd like to get some tarot cards and just have a little.
I don't believe in that, because if you can manipulate the tarot cards, a bunch of shit, and then any of that or any of this astrology that rules their life. Because if we can control the dice, which you can right now, doesn't that mean someone else can too? Just like the probability trap. I don't believe in probability.
I think
probably.
I mean, I think it's kind of like we're not. What we've got is either a memory of these things, like we could do it, we could always do it, but now, like we can't. So we've got the memory of it, and we've got some kind of
there we go,
faint connection to the ability, but because of where we are right now physically in the story of things, just where we are, we're not right, because we've all been living basically pre-programmed. We're subconsciously pre-programmed. Every one of us has been subconsciously pre-programmed, but every one of us has at some point broken out of that, the programming that's come from them. But it doesn't mean that we're not still, we're on a mission. That's why we've woken up. That's why we can't be programmed. That's why we can't be deceived, because we've got a connection to, to source or whatever. We've got a memory we've got a soul memory that keeps telling us, no, this ain't right, it's got to change. But none of us really knows how we're going to go about changing it. But the way that everything's happened in my life, particularly the way that everything's brought me to where I am now, I felt like I had free will all the way through. I thought I was making the best decision to earn, but through my heart. I've always gone by my heart. I've never, well, no, I have gone with my head, and it's always gone wrong. So I ended up just going with my heart all the time, and here I am now. But I thought that was my free will. But I feel like I am exactly where I was supposed to be. So it was kind of fate in a way that I would end up here. I was fated to end up here. I think that we've got a certain amount of it that's prescripted, like a bit of Venom says, or it's already scripted. It's already happened to an extent. It's already happened, because now the only time that exists is now. Before, now, and after, like the future, the history, and now all happening at the same time. This is what I was talking to Joe about yesterday, Joe Gifford. Everything's happening at the same time. It's just our conscious awareness is only in this moment.
Yeah, you're right. It's all about the now. But right now, for example, dice trios will prove this theory right now in the now. Yeah, you must have a coin. It must tell you it's 50-50. You can glitch that coin to the point where you throw it off the wall. You'll be like,
I don't even have a coin, mate. I don't even have a coin.
Hey, can you hear me?
Let me look around and see what I got. Well, nothing. I've got a guitar, and I've got nothing I can.
Can you guys hear me? I'm sure.
Yeah, can hear you, Christos. Yes, mate.
Okay, one thank you. It's giving me issues for like the past 10 minutes. All right, I'll be listening.
You're breaking up though. Yeah, Restream isn't that great, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm streaming to 2 platforms.
I'm about to stream yards. I'll start streaming soon. I've never hopped on the stream stuff.
Yeah,
am I still
stream. We can still hear you. It's just clipping out a little bit, like with Cage as well.
Damn.
Missing some of the words. Words.
Too bad, no.
Yeah, it's pretty. That's all right, mate. And like with your camera on. See, I don't mind putting my camera on. If somebody else has got their camera on, I'll put my camera on.
I was gonna say, hopefully it's not clipping video too much. I'm not letting the camera on. Hell, normally putting the camera on doesn't. It's normally better to put the camera off. Video issues.
Do you know what it does? Do you know what it does? The clipping is still there. It's still clipping out, right? Not clipping like too much noise. It's dropping off. But because the video's steady, I can see that you're talking. So the noise clips out a bit, but because I can see you speaking, it's not as bad. I don't know if anybody else that's watching agrees. It's like, because it's just when all you've got is the sound, and the sound cuts out a little bit, it's much more noticeable than when you can see the person and they're talking, and you can see that they're still talking. It's not that it's frozen or anything. It's just that the sound has dropped a little bit. If that makes sense to anyone.
Yeah. Well, but am I still clipping on Bluetooth?
Yeah, you're. If you're on Bluetooth, maybe that's what it is. It's just a slight delay. there's a slight delay to the you speak, and then the sound comes and catches up with you. So it's like, yeah.
Your camera's going
if you're on
crazy, Chris.
Bluetooth. Yeah.
You're constantly turning off, glitching around. Man.
That's him.
on the
He's
damn
doing
road.
that.
I was fucking doing
He's doing that.
yeah.
Listen, if you're driving though, dude, if you're driving, do me a favor, just concentrate on driving. Don't worry about.
That's what I was thinking. Focus on the.
Turn the camera off. Chuck the phone on the seat.
Kate,
Don't worry about
man,
sound clipping.
fucking
Just-
asshat,
just-
Cage. Fucking at the camera, Cage. I'll
Focus
heed.
on the road. Stop
I'll
touching
heed the.
the phone.
I like the magic tree house just being an asshat.
Well, no, that's what my family. If they're on here, I'd be like, focus on the road. That's what you have to focus on the damn road. You know what I mean?
I'm just giving. Not actually looking at the screen for real. You can watch my
I
eyes,
appreciate.
Cage. I'm
Ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right? So if you're fiddling around on your damn phone to get into an accident, and accidents don't exist. That's just stupid decisions.
It's like this is like two little brothers having a little snap at each other, man. I'm gonna step in between the two of you and say, just shut the fuck up, both of you. Shut the fuck
off.
Anyway, I know my audio is clipping a little bit, and up real quick about Amanita Mascara. So you guys know about those ones with the white dots?
Ibotenic acid, yes.
I didn't catch all of that.
Some gummies.
I'm talking about the Amanita Muscaria. It's the fly agaric mushroom, the big red ones and the regular Super Mario and shit. There's a substance called ibotenic acid in them. That's what he's referring to.
Right. That's what Voy's been eating. Voy was talking about that, wasn't he? Yesterday or whenever Voy was talking about eating those agaric fly, or agaric fly, whatever they are. When you eat them in what is it in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you can eat those mushrooms and it makes you trip out.
Well, funnily enough, the beginning of those mushrooms, people back in the ancient days, or back in the days before them, had to get rid of the harsh. There's like other alkaloids in there and make it very. Take one shaman and you take a massive dose of them, like pretty much die almost, so then everyone would drink his piss. I'm not even joking. And they drink the piss and then they get the ibotenic acid out of it.
They make a reference to that, right? They make a reference to that in oh god, there was a British comedy called The Green Wing, right? And the guys are at these three doctors at the bar and they're drinking and they're chatting, and like one of the doctors is a complete little nerd who can't get any can't get any women. And then this other doctor is a complete arrogant prick who gets all the women. And he's saying to him, well, the way the Vikings did it, the Vikings would eat the magic mushrooms and get really high, and then all of the lesser men in the tribe, they'd drink their piss, wouldn't they? And then they'd get they'd get some of that power from the lead Viking, and they'd go into battle and then so maybe if you do that, maybe if you drink my piss, you'll be able to pull more women.
Well, take the
so he does. He
piss right out of you, but
that is taking the piss.
Hey, so
that is taking the piss.
All right, so I brought definitely. It's kind of funny. So I brought a mushroom because they now make it at this little head shop in my it in gummy form with some like added. So I tried it out, posting psilocybin mushrooms, like a couple too much, and keeping it under a gram experience when it comes to those things. I figure, okay, what the hell? I'm about to get magic mushrooms coming soon, but until I try out the Amanita muscaria mushrooms, and I know they're not the same. They're not as intense. They still have effects, and they can, be. So I got the gummies that the Amanita muscaria extract, THC infused in there. It comes in, and the people that sampled it, they tried 150 milligrams. They said it was. They felt like they were feeling more from the weed. So since I figure, okay,
cutting it horribly bad, man.
Why?
Like, yeah, you're cutting out real bad.
It's the Bluetooth, because you can see what's happening is he's talking, but the Bluetooth isn't engaging as soon as he starts talking. It's like the Bluetooth keeps disconnecting and reconnecting. So I can see him talking, and I can kind of work out what he's saying, but it's not easy, because you got to look and see, like read his lips kind of thing, see, he's saying something, and then it kind of catches up a little bit with the audio when it cuts back in again, and it catches up, and it's annoying, man. That's annoying, because I like Christos. I want to hear what he's got to say. Yeah, apologies, Indigo and JP.
It's because he's driving or something.
Yeah, I mean that's
yeah. Connection.
I think he's got it connected to the Bluetooth in his car, so he's got it hands free, because the sound will come through better in his car. It would be much easier otherwise if to hold the phone up to his fucking ear to be able to hear it on the loudspeaker on his phone. So he's got it coming through his speakers so that he can hear it better.
That's probably what it is. Yeah.
Hopefully, if he's got time and if he's listening, if he's got time and he gets back, when he gets back, he can reconnect when he's stopped moving.
Yeah,
I want to know where Voy is. I want to know where Voy is. If he's just sat there listening, he's just sat there listening away, because he's still plugged in, but we've not heard a peep from him for about an hour.
He's in the background,
lurking away. I'll try this one more time with headphones. Yes, mate, that would work. That would work if they're not Bluetooth. Oh, dude, listen, go to work, man. Go to work. Don't worry about this. We'll do this again. We'll do this again, and if it's not restring, if it's just because of the Bluetooth thing, if we can have a stream that sounds as good as a StreamYard stream, then I'll be well happy with Restream, because I'm streaming to my Facebook as well. Although I haven't had anybody from Facebook commenting. So I don't know if anybody is watching on Facebook. I think my channel got kind of, my Facebook profile got put in the sin bin a long time ago. There he is. There he is. He is still sat there lurking away. Shifty Dutchman.
Guess who's back?
Oh, good to hear you back, mate.
Just going for a beer run and a paprika and yeah.
If you guys like in the private thing, a link for
Discord. Do you know what? Do you know what? Right?
Yeah.
Discord.
I don't really.
I've had. Yeah, I've had two bad experiences with Discord when my laptop's got basically hacked with malware through Discord, and so I said I'm not going to use it again. And then I watched Quite Frankly, and Quite Frankly's got a Discord, and you can jump in and talk to him. So I thought, oh, do you know what? Fuck it. I've got a VPN now, so I'll just get on Discord through the browser. I won't download the app. I'll just go in through the browser on Brave through a VPN, and then nobody, I'll be a lot safer. And Discord are being wankers. They won't let me fucking.
Well,
As soon as I opened my account, they then flagged my account for like.
What happened, Richie, my man? What happened?
crashed on him again. Yes.
I guess so.
There we
No,
go.
he's back.
There we go. What a bunch of wankers cut me off right when I'm talking. Hey?
At least your audio is better now, dude.
Is it? Was it not good before?
No, but the only reason how that could happen is because you clicked the link. You weren't supposed to.
I didn't click anything.
You
I
must
didn't
have.
touch anything. No, I wasn't touching anything at all, mate. Wasn't touching anything. I was looking at the Discord link, and I was explaining about Discord. They're just being absolute arseholes. They're telling me I'm a spam account, and I can't post in any. I can't take part in any servers. I can't do anything. So it's like, all right, do you know what? Fuck you then. Fuck you. It's just been nothing but trouble for me, Discord, and it really pisses me off because it's a really bloody good platform. I was really impressed with it when I used it. I was really impressed with it because I had a server on there for about 6 months, and I had a group and everything, and I was part of the Purple Flame group, and we were having 14-hour conversations like in the voice chat and stuff, waking up and like falling asleep in a middle of a conversation, waking up 5 hours later and everybody's still in there having a it's like when you go to sleep at a party and then you wake up and everybody's still partying. Yeah, man, way. That's what it felt like. It was brilliant.
I was never the kind to fall asleep at a party, but I can imagine.
This isn't like that at all. This is just very particular.
Well, like I say, I would come over to your Discord, but Discord isn't letting me do anything. They've like sin binned my profile. So
Yeah, it's better
what to do there. Where do you work, Christos? Where do you work?
Oh, still pretty bad.
Yeah, it's not good, mate. It's not great.
All right.
I'm gonna say
No, this is the last thing I'm gonna try. Try is just using my phone with no headset.
Oh, mate, now it's crystal clear. Now it's absolutely crystal clear. No problem at all.
Okay, that's cool. I can make that work today. I'm around people sometimes, but for the most part, I'm on my own, so I can afford to here and there to talk to you guys. So no worries. I'm a cleaner. I'm just like a burial type at this church.
Nice.
I'm glad my job is super chill. I really like it because honestly, I enjoy cleaning things. Good. So, but yeah, now what I was saying earlier, these Amanita muscaria mushrooms that I was talking about that I got from the store. Man, those things much more intense than I thought. In fact, they're like debilitating. So I was telling you, there's 3 doses. for like $23 doses. They have THC infused in them. What I did yesterday, all 3 of them, right before I ate my lunch and went on break, and I was like dissociating. My body felt drunk. Trouble moving my body in a normal fashion to the point where I was making sure if I didn't have to be, I was not going to be around anyone else in the building. I was going to stay off else, and I'm just cleaning because I felt so.
Balls on
My motor
mushrooms in the fucking church basement. Balls and shit.
basement.
You're crazy, but
there's no basement. There's no basement, but I know I've done a lot of things here. I'll tell you that.
This guy's in the back room of the church. You're crazy, Christos, man.
Dude.
Yeah.
Of ibotanic acid.
I have. Huh?
You could have some
You're
real
that's
spiritual,
fucking
really
awesome.
spiritual experience, like in
That's
a
fucking
church
awesome, bro.
on mushrooms, man. Tell me when you meet Jesus.
That's fucking
I was definitely seeing like flash images, and like I felt like I was like sleepwalking. I was in a dream state, even though I knew I was walking around, and kind of wavy and weird looking. It wasn't maybe as like taking like an eighth of like psilocybin, myself, but like I was saying that my motor skills, that was the only thing. Just walking like a normal person, like doing a task was actually like very difficult. Felt like I was drunk when I was walking, but like I had a certain clarity of my mind. Operated like really crazy mind states, like needing to do certain things before. It wasn't too much of a problem for me, but like it was weird because I felt like I was the word is liminal. I was definitely in like the liminal space, like 1 foot, because part of me was definitely like tapping into like the dream world. Very strange, kind of dissociative, not as profound as like regular psilocybin, but this was interesting for sure. It tapped me into something. There was a lot of wizard energy, dragons, knights, wizards. Like my mind like tuned into the fantasy frequency. So like my imagination being off in a dream world and doing some simple cleaning.
Mate, what an awesome way to spend your day at work. You know, you're not hurting anybody doing it. Maybe you might do a wacky job cleaning. They come in the next day and the everything's like put all in different places. Yeah, but man, the computer told me that it wanted to be over here, man. It felt that the feng shui in this room was just completely whack.
the feng shui's fucking up. But yeah, Treehouse and Christos. If you experiment with these substances, right? Utilization on them, you integrate them into your reality after these and actually make it a positive way. If not, then you just you're just doing this shit just for they're not supposed to be used. Yeah, these are supposed to be a tool, right? So if you don't have proper integrations that they teach you, then you're actually wasting it. You're like, you're actually wasting what this. So I'm saying you best integrate it.
It's probably like I'm 45 years old, so I first did acid when I was 22. It was millennium. It was the millennium, coming into the millennium, so I was 22, 23 years old. First time I did acid. I did a lot of acid in my early 20s. And then because of what happened in my personal life, I had a really serious car accident, and so I didn't touch acid again until 2015. And in 2015, I did it again, and I did too much. And I actually went to hell. I went to a level of hell
To the void.
that was within my perception. I was experiencing the hell that actually existed right where we were. It was everybody's hell. There was all this screaming and anguish and crying, and that's all I could feel, and I couldn't see anything except it it felt like there was blood dripping down the walls, and it was just a. But I knew exactly what was going on. That's when I realized that my consciousness was separate to my being. Like it was my being is about it's about the ego, where the ego reside, or maybe not the being, but your ego resides within the body, and it cannot leave the body. Your ego cannot actually consciously leave the body. As soon as you come out of the body, you're no longer in ego. That's your spirit, or your consciousness. I feel your consciousness is the connection that you've made, between your soul and your spirit and your ego and your higher self and God and everything. That it's that connection. That's what constitutes your consciousness, your individual consciousness. And when your consciousness leaves your body, your intelligence is in your consciousness. It's got nothing to do with your brain, really. So I was compos mentis like sat there, well, floating there, because I had no sense of my body whatsoever. I tried moving my arms, and I couldn't feel anything. I didn't know. It's like, where are my arms? Well, I can't move. I don't have arms. Well, but I knew exactly what was going on and why I was there, and I knew that my body was sat there, and it was fully intact, and it was, my body was under the influence. My body was under the influence of this acid, and if anybody were to come in to that situation, I was worried that my body would freak out, because I was in hell. As far as my ego was concerned, I was in hell. Go on.
I'm wondering, where did that name come from, the Magic Tree House?
So that came from last November. I had a really, really profound spiritual experience that it didn't come on through because I was using drugs. I'd had a similar experience a year or two before, or 2 years before, but that was because I'd taken drugs, and that led to me having this spiritual experience where I spoke to my higher self, and I didn't actually talk. My higher self spoke, and all I did was cry, just stand there crying and apologizing, just begging for forgiveness, because I was I was like, oh my God, it felt so bloody real. But the thing is, because it was drugs that induced it, the physical come down from the drugs, all contributed to me basically forgetting the profoundness of what had happened, and forgetting it, basically, because what had happened was my higher self had basically, once I'd finished blubbing, had said, right, are you done? Are you finished? Okay, now get to work. You've got shit to do. Get to work. And I didn't get to work. And so last November, just a combination of events and conversations, I ended up being awake for 90 hours without any drugs at all, apart from caffeine. That was the only thing, was caffeine and a little bit of marijuana. But every time I went to go to sleep, like after 24 hours, I was like, yeah, I really should try and get some sleep now. my eyes feel quite tired. I'm going to lay down, close my eyes, and go to sleep. And I'd lay down, close my eyes, and suddenly have this thought and like this download, and it filled me with energy. And I'd sit bolt upright and be like, "Whoa! I feel like I've had 9 hours sleep." And then could just continue, and that's how it each day went for like 90 hours. And during that 90 hours, I spoke to my higher self again. And my heart, and what happened was because I had done all the, because I didn't feel ashamed, right? I was like, wow, I've reached this state of consciousness. I've reached this, whatever it is, delusion, whatever it is, I've reached it naturally. It wasn't drugs that took me there. I got there completely naturally. All it was sleep deprivation and food and, malnutrition. I didn't eat for 5 days, and I drank the tiniest bit of water and like a little bit of coffee at the beginning of it.
Yeah, you don't need to get to the kind of like a cheat, in a way. Like be aware.
Doing drugs is a cheat. It's a shortcut. Doing drugs to get there is 100% a shortcut, and you are able to get there purely through natural means by fasting and sleep deprivation. You can reach in, and I'll tell you what. I was walking around, and I felt like I feel like I'm off my tits. There was one point, right? It was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm walking the dogs, and I suddenly started to feel really guilty. And I started judging myself, and then this little voice said to me, "Dude, why are you judging yourself? Don't feel bad. You haven't done anything. You haven't taken any drugs. Why would you feel ashamed? All you've done is not sleep." And I was like, "Oh yeah, fuck!" And I felt great, But I felt like I was on drugs. I hadn't taken a thing, but I felt like I was on drugs. It was fucking awesome. I got to be honest with you. It was absolutely awesome. Raven, yeah, if you restart your phone, I'd love it. I'd love you to come on, babe. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so definitely fasting, sleep deprivation will certainly give you states that are very similar to that of tripping.
Meditation as well, dude.
Yeah.
Meditation, like breathing exercises. There's a Wim Hof breathing exercise that you can do. Like while you're doing it, you have these little, like, you get visuals, you get physical feeling, you get like your body tingles, your skin tingles, everything. You feel like you're floating. You get these crazy visuals, colors flashing, and all of that. And then when you finish the breathing exercise, for one thing, it might be that you've just laid there and not taken a breath for 9 minutes. You haven't needed to breathe for 9 minutes. I've done it. The most I've managed is 7 minutes, not needing to take a single breath for 7 minutes. Doing his exercises, they're fucking amazing, mate. But you don't need to do I've actually modified it a little bit, because you don't need to do as many breaths as he gets you to do. When you do it along with him, he gets you to do like 15-20 breaths, and you actually don't need that many. You can do it on 10 or 12 breaths. You take 10 or 12 really deep breaths, and then exhale. And you don't breathe, and you don't breathe until you absolutely have to. And then when you absolutely have to, the first breath that you take, you hold, and you can hold it for 15, 20, 30 seconds, but you hold it, and then you start the whole exercise again. Just
I must admit that I did inhale, and I held it in for 15 seconds, and then I exhaled. Yeah, that's.
It's like the number of times each time you do it, you find that the next, when you exhale and you stop, it's a little bit longer that you don't need to breathe for.
Yeah.
The breatharian
All right,
thing,
so
I think I've never used the Wim Hof exercises in conjunction with the
No,
mindset
breatharian,
of being breatharian. But
right?
I have a like what I do is every time I go out in the sun, and every time I'm outside in the sun, um, it's like I visualize I'm sucking in all the good energy that's
Yeah.
there, you know. It's all I'm sucking it into my eyes and into my skin, and like my toroidal field becomes a kind of vortex for the good energy. But I'm doing
And
it the
that's
whole
that's
time.
the thing that
Uh,
yeah, that's also what this breathari,
it almost
breatharianism
sounds a little
is about.
vampiric.
That
yeah,
they
no,
To
right,
me.
no, listen, that no,
But
yeah, this is what I was going to say, Cage. That's an important point. When I do it, it's like what I'm saying is I'm taking the energy that I'm is for me. I'm not taking more than I need, and I'm only taking what is for me. And I think that everything in the realm is there consciously feeding. We're all
well,
feeding
that's
each other
the
with
mosquito.
energy. So I'm not,
Mosquito suck.
it's not in a vampiric way, like.
When a mosquito sucks your blood, it takes what it needs too. You know, these little welt on you. But anyways,
Yeah,
man,
but this dude,
why?
this realm, we're part of this realm, right? We're part of this
Mm,
realm. We were made for this realm. Our bodies were made for this realm to interact with this realm. And as much as I take, I give.
I
It's not a
want
take. It's a give and take in this realm. It's give and take. You give and receive energy. So I take the energy that's intended for me, and I give back to the ether and to my friends and to my animals and to everybody that and to strangers. I give back
to the.
like good energy.
But yeah,
Well,
okay. So
I like to think it's
it goes
healing,
back to
but
the main question. I thought the magic trio. So this is the first two things I think when I hear
oh,
that.
I didn't, dude. I didn't even finish. I didn't even finish that story, did I? I went off on one, right? So the magic. So all of this profound experience put me in touch with my inner child. Put me in touch with my spirit, which is actually my spirit's like a 10-year-old, 11-year-old boy. You know, before the hormones kicked in, before high school was impressing certain things on me, and society was making me think about sex with girls and relationships, getting married, having children,
Dude,
getting
that
a
kicked
job,
in way
becoming
before I was
becoming
10.
an becoming an adult. No, it kicked in before my. All right, so yeah, I mean, I was getting little tingles from Sam Fox when I
All
was
right.
probably 9, but
Yeah.
the point is, you're still you're still a child, man. So
Yeah.
we
You're
could say
you're still
7,
a bit like
Like
used.
Joe was saying,
You
like
still say sex, ew.
so
Ew.
like Joe was saying then, like and like what's his name? Um oh God, the Greek guy. Give me a child till the age of 7, and I'll show you the man. So maybe 7, you know, just the unspoiled, the innocent, it's the innocence, right? It's about the innocence that when you were innocent, when you still had your innocence, then it put me in touch with that, and I thought, rah, what did I always want when I was 10 years old? I wanted a treehouse, and I wanted it to be a really cool place where all of my friends came, and no matter how they were feeling out there in the world, when they came to my treehouse, or our treehouse, it felt like home, and it always felt like a safe place where they could be themselves. You know, where just like a safe space, man, like a liberal safe space. But you know what I mean? Somewhere
Like a
where you could
sanctuary.
always come and feel at home, a sanctuary, yeah, a sanctuary, not a fortress of solitude, a fortress of unity, and you know, and brotherhood, and sisterhood, and of family, of the so it basically it's a space for my soul family to come and be with the rest of the family and just feel loved and accepted, and for who they are, and not needing people to be or think or feel anything other than what they are and who they are. And so I created a group on Signal, and I've got the Magic Treehouse on Signal. We've got the Treehouse Goonies. There's about 30 of them. And then my channel got deleted on YouTube, so I made this channel, the Magic Treehouse, and this was my backup channel. So I moved to this as it's now my main channel, and 007 is my backup channel now. So that's how and why. Sorry, it's very long-winded, wasn't it? But there you go. That's why.
It's very
John
wholesome.
D. Ref. Like, okay, the Magic Trios. This is the first thing I thought about the Magic Trios. I thought it was a Kabbalistic ref. Pretty much, like, that could be a Magic Trios if you wanted to call it that. And then also this children's book I remember when I was a kid. It's called The Magic Treehouse, and it's like a series. Those are the two, and something with like Pennsylvania, and they have this treehouse. Exactly what you're describing exists in book technically. So this is what I thought when I first saw your, with that name, because I like looking into people's names for some reason. You know what I mean? So there's a couple references there. Maybe maybe it's unintentional. My references to.
Dude, our
Kabbalistics.
reality is so filled with occult and Kabbalistic and satanic, and the symbology and symbolism and association, like the word association of narratives with words and phrases. So the Magic Treehouse caused you associated that to Kabbalistic stuff, right? But that's not that like the Magic Treehouse came from a completely organic and genuine healthy place. Like, the first video I made was called The Seed, and I wanted to plant the seed of the idea of the treehouse so that it would grow and it would become an ethereal place in the in the spirit realm or whatever. This Magic Treehouse exists, and it's where we go, and we all right, so it's on an app on the Signal
It's like a
on
lot.
my
It's
phone.
like the true lodge. It's like a metaphysical lodge.
Yeah, and because what I want, my goal in life is to actually create create tree houses, build tree houses in the physical, where people come for exactly that reason, where everybody can come and connect and share and be themselves, and through that get healing, and be able to come. I want to end up with a healing center where people, they come to the Magic Treehouse, and when they've got a bag of tools to take with them, so that they never experience those problems that they had that brought them to the treehouse, so that they never experience those problems again, and they've got the tools to deal with any new problems that come up. That's the aim.
That sounds very, very alchemical in a way. Because
Yeah,
the Magic Trio represents like a process of initiation. Because you can never tell or force anybody into anything. They have to come to the trios, like you said, and then mega tools. The tools. It's very. This sounds extremely like alchemical on me also, which is fine because there's good stuff out of it. I like your version of it.
dude, we are alchemists. At the end of the day, each one of us we are magicians. We're alchemists.
Sounds fucking beautiful, man.
We're
I'm telling you. Oh, I know how to play this game. I'm very, very good at it. But I did too. Like, I know how it works. So my will onto other people, unless it it's for the betterment of everybody else.
The way I feel about it, right, is what I've come to realize. Okay, I've got this view of what's going on and what we have to do, what these important lessons that we have to learn and everything. But just because I'm sat here and I know in my heart that I'm right about these certain things, I know that I'm also wrong about other things, and that I've been wrong in the past, and that also, hey, if I'm sovereign and nobody can tell me what to think or how to think or what to feel or how to feel, nobody, I'm quite arrogant in that sense. I'm like, hey, listen, I know me better than you do. Well, it's the same with every single person that's walking, and even the ones that are fast asleep. They don't know they're fast asleep. They think they're switched on. They think they're compass mentis. They think they're intelligent. They think that they're on the ball and they're tuned in, and they're actually, you're the idiot. I'm the idiot. I'm just a drugged up loony, a wacko, fucking psycho.
I
Comes
think
out with crazy
you guys.
shit.
I think you guys are the change we need to see in the world. I think this is where it starts. I think people who think that they're kind of projecting, right? And maybe it's making them think that, because you can learn something from anybody. Guaranteed, if you actually learn from anybody, you can gain pretty much all knowledge from any outside anything. Right? There's a lot to garner from anything you see. So
That's why I've stopped. I stopped a long time ago trying to tell people, not like, oh, don't go and don't. This channel's full of shit. They're full of shit, man. They don't know what they're talking about. They're just making it up there, or whatever, They're just doing it for money, for the money. All they're interested in is selling you a product or getting your monthly subscription. That's all they're interested in. This is just a numbers game for them. I've stopped doing all that. Because I've realized that there's channels that they do that, and that is their motivation, why they're doing it. But it doesn't mean that you can't learn something from them, because it's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. If you just say, oh no, I don't like that person because they do this, this and this.
Oh no.
Well done, StreamYard. Well done, StreamYard. Well done, man. Not StreamYard, Restream. Well done, Restream. Fucking assholes. Can you hear me now?
That was kind of comedic timing.
I don't know how much you heard of what I was saying, but
we heard you up until the throw the baby out with the bathwater, and then you pretty much cut off.
Yeah, but I think that's what they want us to do. They want us to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They want us to get triggered by things, get judgmental and triggered, and say, right, I'm not going to listen to anything else. Then you're not in control. Then, are you? Like, I want to be able to watch things, be triggered by them, but see behind it. See behind what it is, because there might be something there that's useful information.
I wasn't really looking at it like that. What I meant with that, like, the greatest lessons I've ever learned is because I stopped and looked around me, right? Like that homeless person everyone ignores that. So if you go actually sit there beside that person and actually have a conversation, sit there for a while, that you can always learn off anything. That's what I mean by that.
You can learn. Yeah, absolutely. You don't know that person's story. You don't you can make your assumptions as to why they're on the street because of their appearance. You can make assumptions, but you don't really know their story unless you sit down and talk to them. You sit down, you ask them some questions, you find out, oh shit, man, so you're a qualified doctor. No way. And you find out that some tragic thing happened, like, to this person, that it wasn't their maybe in the long run, in the whole scheme of things, it was their fault, whatever. But it wasn't. It was something tragic happened in that person's life and ended them up on the streets. Or maybe it was drugs. Maybe it was heroin. Why did they start taking heroin? People only take heroin really to escape. What are you trying to escape?
Like any of these
Why?
negative, like any of these negative things that we're like right to hate, right? I think that's just, like you can't hate the residue, right? Why would you go after the residue when you can go after the substance? You focus your attention on the substance.
Yeah. And that's the thing about people, isn't it? Like that's how I judge people. Like Voy was saying about judgment. We judge people all the time. We judge people all the time. We do. I do. I judge people for substance. If somebody has no substance to them, I don't really pay too much attention to them. I don't. They're not going to be of any. If somebody has no substance, they're not going to be of any use. They're not going to be of any benefit. All they might do is try and suck some of your substance. So I only really engage with people of substance. Are we still here? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Just taking in what you're saying. You've been pretty much on the ball.
Dude, like I said, I'm 45, right? And a lot has gone on in my life. I've nearly been killed 4 times. I've lost a loved one and a baby, and I've been to prison, and I've been to university, and I've done all kinds of different jobs professionally. I've been a professional musician. I've worked backstage. I've done sales, and worked in an office and done all of that shit. Tried to get into the rat race and become become a cog in the wheel of the system, just to please my parents. That didn't last very long.
So you know what that's called? That's called so you're in the exoteric realm. You went deep into that. Now you're getting into the
Yeah, I mean, I tried to. I just basically, my car accident happened when I was like 23 years old, and I when I came out of my coma, everything was so different. I felt like I actually felt for a long time, up until I woke up in 2013. I thought I'd been knocked into a parallel universe. I wasn't living in the same universe that I was born into, and it was like my consciousness had been knocked into. Say that again.
What year did you say? 2013.
2013 was when I wandered down the rabbit hole. Yeah, because when 9/11 happened, I'd been like that. I'd come out of my coma earlier that year. I actually came out of my coma on New Year's Day at exactly the same time I was born. 28 minutes past midnight on New Year's Day, I woke up out of my coma, and then 9/11 happened later that year, and I was watching it, and I was like, and that made me. I was just like, yep, I'm definitely in a parallel universe, because I'm telling you now, the universe I was born in, that sort of shit only happens on the movies. That doesn't happen in real life.
11. No, I thought you said 2013.
2013 was when I wandered down the rabbit hole. So I was awake the whole time. I was awake, but I was putting it down. I was putting it down to me being in a different universe, and there was no point in me trying to talk to anybody about it, because nobody would understand what I was trying to say. Hey, I've come from a parallel universe. I'm not from this universe. That was when my understanding of what a universe was was different. You know, it was still based in heliocentric space. Though it was, we were in my mind, we were in a void, you know, in space, in this broad expanse of ever expanding space. So it wasn't until 2013 when I went wandering off down a rabbit hole while I was researching Buddhism, because I was so depressed. I wanted to, you know, I was like, all I want to do is die, man. There's got to be something better than this. So I've done Christianity. I'm not going near Catholicism. I'm not going to go near Judaism. I'm not going near Islam. Oh, Buddhism, right? Buddhism. It's a guide to life. It's a search for happiness. Right, I'll do that. And within about 3 pages of getting into a book about Siddhartha, I there's a reference, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I look it up on the internet, and I'm like, huh. And it was a rabbit hole, and so I wandered down into it, and I found Nibiru and you know, all of that crap, and it was just from then. That was August 2013, basically, and it was the same month that I stopped drinking. I wish you weren't blocked, Raven. I really wish you weren't blocked. I don't know what's going on. Are you on your phone or something?
13.
Oh, you just cut in
Very
then. We
interesting.
missed a lot of that, I think.
That was the only thing I said.
2013.
Yeah.
That was all I heard, was just 2013. Yeah,
That's the only
2013. Yeah, August 2013 was when I started, when my mind opened up, because I realized that they'd been lying to us. And I was like, rah, fuck, they've been lying to us, like from the highest levels. They're fundamentally, they're lying to us about fundamental things. And so then I thought, right, what else are they lying about? And that's where my search for truth started. And since then it's been every day, every single day, just constantly searching new information, discerning whether it's got any substance to it.
magic.
Sucking the substance from it, you know. And yeah, I've gone through magic, gone through you know, looked into Satanism, looked into the teachings of Aleister Crowley and Madame Blavatsky and Manly P. Hall, gone into Alan Watts, gone into Baba Ram Das, Sadhguru. I've been reading Gurdjieff, Maurice Nicoles. I haven't read any of like Plato or Aristotle or anything like that. I haven't read any of those. Because I don't feel that I need to. I don't feel that I need to. Sorry, say that again, Christos.
Oh, I was just saying, you're not listening to Sadhguru anymore, are you?
No. No, trust me, I went through them all and I used my discernment with all of them, and I don't listen to any of them anymore. You know, they're all what they've become corporate entities. As soon as they became corporate entities, that's, you know, they lost their substance. It's all they're just doing it to, basically they're working for the man, really. Everyone's gone quiet. Where have you all gone, man? You've all gone quiet. Raven, can you use a different browser? If you use a different browser, I don't know what browser you use, but if you have got Brave, it will work on Brave. It works. I'm on Brave now, So if you come on using a Brave browser, it will give you it will ask you permission, and you'll be able to say yes. That'd be awesome if you could do that. Because my other three, the other three members of the panel have all gone silent. I don't know if anybody can hear me. In fact,
I can hear you. Can you guys still hear me?
there we are. Yeah, I can hear you. Voy flicked his camera on a little bit here and there. What's that a link for? What is that?
The one I just posted?
Yeah, the one you posted in the private.
Yeah, you should look into it. It's some good information. And also, I put one to
Neuroscience,
my...
deja vu.
I guess that's in the neuroscience.
I'll share it.
Want to like play it?
I'm going to share it. Yeah, I've got it here. I'm going to share this. Hopefully this will work. We'll see how well it works.
I wasn't really saying shit either way. Might as well learn something here. But yeah, I'll also show you my channel where I'm probably like I'm bringing like a lot of stuff in together into one thing, audiobooks,
to this week's lecture in spirituality in the brain. Tonight the theme is applying neuroscience to the spiritual process. Over the last few weeks, a lot of information been given. And this week we're going to talk about how to actually use it in practice. So, to begin, we're back, as we were, with the temporal lobes. And the temporal lobes of the brain are the source for most spiritual experiences. There have been several papers published, a couple of books that deal on this. The case for the temporal lobes being more or less the center or the seat for spiritual experiences is quite strong. But where I'm going to start tonight is with the fact that there's actually a kind of epilepsy that stays in the temporal lobes. And not surprisingly, it's called temporal lobe epilepsy. It's also called complex partial epilepsy. Complex because it can have a wide range of phenomena that goes along with its seizures, as well as involving a number of different brain parts. And it's called partial because it doesn't spread to the whole brain. The temporal lobes have lower firing thresholds than other areas of the brain. So it's possible for activity to start there and then stay there without actually reaching a threshold to spread into other areas of the brain. So of course, temporal lobe epileptic seizures are not convulsive. The person doesn't shake, they don't foam at the mouth. In fact, from the outside, you might not even know they were having a seizure. Now, because spiritual processes and experiences seem to be sort of based in the temporal lobes, and temporal lobe epilepsy is confined to the temporal lobes, it's not too surprising that some temporal lobe seizures, some complex partial seizures, actually involve dramatic spiritual experiences. They're not common, and one of the things I should emphasize is that temporal lobe seizures can often have very, very mundane phenomena that goes along with them. In fact, the single most common phenomena that comes up in temporal lobe seizures is lip smacking. The person smacking their lips or making automatic movements with their mouths over and over again. From the outside, it doesn't look like much, and from the inside, there's nothing really phenomenal going on. Spiritual seizures are only a small part of the total range of experiences the temporal lobe epilepsy can create. There's a EEG pattern showing the spiking that's characteristic of epilepsy. And with grand mal seizures, the kind where a person can actually fall down and convulse, their body can become rigid. This kind of thing can be found all over the brain.
I'll just pause it there for commentary purposes, man. I've never witnessed anybody have an epileptic fit before until 2 years ago.
No, but he's alluding to we have these certain things. Like, for example, when you, sorry to interrupt you, but for example, when you went the 90 days and fasted, and you're probably having these spiritual experiences, which have to do with the temporal lobe. And there's, if you look at the EEG, you can classify them as seizures, which means there's an interruption of the regular electrical impulses, right? But physically outside, the person would be completely normal. They would not be having an actual fucked up seizure like what you imagine. That's what you
And
say.
the thing is as well, Cage, is this is the only way that they have to describe it to us, because this is the way it's been defined within the medical arena. They say, oh, look at these things happening. They put the ECG, they put all the monitors on the brain, and they see how the energy is moving in the brain and what's going on, and they try to come up with reasons for it. But what we've got is a bunch of men who think that they're really intelligent because everybody's told them they're really intelligent, because they can sit there and cram a lot of details, and they're able to process information quickly. And
this is not like mainstream science that's like fits the narrative, though. This is like these people.
Oh no, I'm not saying about this guy. What I'm saying is the words that are used have been defined by those guys. So the words that are used. So when he's saying seizure, right? He's saying, oh, the temporal lobe is having a seizure. This person is having a seizure. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to get at. The word seizure, we shouldn't pay attention to that word. It's just something's happening. The energy, the data has been it's been changed. Something's happening,
as you get further into it, you'll see there's a lot to learn from this. I'm not even joking. Like, they fuck their dictionary. Do not listen to their spells and their dictionary.
Yeah. Just look at what's happening. Like try and see it in a completely objective way.
Discernment. Discernment.
Yeah, using your Jency says, "Oh God, this guy again." Right? What is this? I don't know, Jency Tordai. I don't. And apologies if I've mispronounced that. I've never seen you before in my chat, so I don't know how your name's pronounced. But I don't know if you're from Voice Channel. I presume you've come over from Voice Channel. Yeah. Hang on. Sorry, I'll press play again.
With the temporal lobes, it's only found in the temporal lobes. So in the course of temporal lobe epileptic seizures, and again, these aren't common, but the events have included visions of God, out-body experiences, the visual experience of a total, absolute, but clear blackness, intellectual.
Right, I'll just say, in this case, if they'd been monitoring my brain during the times when I've had spiritual experiences and crazy meditation experiences, you'd probably find that my temporal lobe was tripping out, was having a seizure of some kind, It's
something different. They've done this in the lab. They've studied this stuff. You can with magnetic fields and you can mess around with this shit. And this is old information. Imagine what they can do at a distance now. I'm sure they're doing it now to other people. Like you can definitely mess around with this technology. That's for sure.
Well, they're definitely listening to every word that's being said, and that's been proven to me, and to one of my friends in London, Roxanne. Everybody knows Roxanne.
The NSA is into the chat, of course. This is obvious.
Some of the observations, though, like she's been so she's got digital radios where she's staying at the moment. They've got digital radios, and there's one in the kitchen and there's one in the living room, and you can hear, but you can stand in the living room or stand in the doorway and hear both radios. So she was in the kitchen and she went into the living room and she turned the radio on in there, and they were both on the same station. Both radios were on exactly the same station, right? So she stayed in the living room, and the adverts came on, and she walked, and like the advert that came on was kind of very relevant to her. It was very relevant to something, private with her, something that she didn't talk about with people. And she went into the kitchen, and in the kitchen, the advert that was playing was for cat food. And when she looked up, the cat was sat next to the radio. That is a crazy, crazy little coinky dink. That,
Well, I'll tell you one like that. As a kid, it was literally like a warning. Okay, it was like this. Like, I'm not even joking. I had this radio playing, right? It was like, "Don't go, don't go, don't go." The lyrics are like, "Just stay, don't go, just stay." I went either way, and it was like a setup on my life, pretty much like a robbery attempt. And I somehow got away with it still. But even like going into the elevator like jumped up and down, was going to the wrong floor, was going up again. And I just still went. I said, "Fuck it, I don't care. I'll just deal with it anyways." And yeah, it was a warning. When maybe it's some sort of a gun. It's like something that's trying to show you in your reality, like, somehow formulating into your reality through your subconscious mind. Maybe it's like your higher being that's trying to break out of it, trying to show you something. I don't know, but I've had similar experiences like that, which it's not some weird apophenia or some, some weird mind thing. You're just trying to like piece together stuff. It's pretty in your face, like loud, like slapping you across the head type things. So yeah, it's definitely true. And this stuff, it's gonna get off the seizure bullshit. But look what he said. Look, we're not even like we're only a few minutes in, and really, when you get deeper in there, he said he's gonna show you how to apply it and actually do something with it. And they will show you that if you have patience and look into it. You can apply it.
Okay.
Revelations, kind of insights where in the middle of their seizures they feel that they have somehow contacted the information that drives the universe. Sometimes feelings of connectedness where they feel they're one with all things. And of course, one of the most common spiritual experiences that comes up with temporal lobe epilepsy is a mind that's absent, a mind that's empty of words, total inner silence, which is a very much sought after state in Buddhism, but when it happens during a seizure, it's actually not too pleasant. In fact, most of the really powerful temporal lobe experiences have been fairly unpleasant. And these have included of impending doom, a strong sense of unfamiliarity with things to the point where a person can actually feel alienated from their environment, deja vu. The time has slowed down for a few temporal lobe epileptics during their seizures. There can be feelings of profound loneliness, as though you're the only person alive in the world. One person who had this experience regularly told me that they had the sense that there had been a nuclear holocaust. The world had been destroyed and only their home had been left intact. They were that lonely. Another one that can come up is the feeling that your body has changed, so that the normal shape and size of your body can be disturbed. You can feel you're very much larger or smaller than usual. Or you can feel that one side of your body has gotten too big and the other is too small, something like that. And then depersonalization. And the illustration you'll see on the screen right now actually shows some drawings of a kid who had a type of seizures related to temporal lobe seizures, but they're not quite the same thing. It's impossible to find an illustration for a true temporal lobe epileptic seizure, but the feeling is of depersonalization. One moment the person is there, then they're gone, and then they return. And in the meantime, they can't really account for what happens from the outside. Their eyes will stop being quite so open. They'll lose a lot of their body tone. Sometimes it's enough that they can actually fall over, which is why the kid in the illustration is wearing a head harness. Anytime this child sat on a chair, there was a danger that they would have a seizure and fall over and hit their head. From the outside, this just looks like a sort of daydreaming version of sleepwalking. The person can be going through the motions over and over again, whatever it is. I remember being told of a case where a person found themselves wiping a dish over and over again for a good solid 5 minutes, drying the same dish, until someone came and said, "Hey, you've been drying the dish for too long," and kind of nudged them on the arm, and that pulled them back, and they were able to continue doing the dishes. I do want to emphasize, and this is for primarily professionals who are really interested in this sort of thing, as well as those among you who take a lot of notes. Spiritual experiences may be born of the temporal lobes, and temporal lobe epilepsy may be confined to the temporal lobes. But the next conclusion that many researchers have drawn won't hold up, and that is that spiritual experiences are epileptic events. Spiritual experiences are not epileptic events. Rather, the pathology of epilepsy can leave a seizure involving or recruiting any part of the brain you care to name. There are a few very deep structures that don't become involved very often, but nearly anything between your ears can be accessed by an epileptic seizure. So it is my contention that spiritual experiences happen when areas of the brain that are wired for these experiences and that are ordinarily and organically initiated during the death process get involved in an epileptic seizure. The areas of the brain that normally function at the time of death and are normally sort of hidden away until that moment comes can still be accessed pathologically by an epileptic seizure. So an epileptic seizure can involve an out-of-body experience, but that doesn't mean that the brain produces out-of-body experiences only in response to seizural events. There's an organic, natural circumstance.
Fucking bastards kicked them out.
During an epileptic seizure doesn't mean that they're seizure related. They're related to an organic function that is pathologically initiated during a seizure.
Exactly what we're saying before.
So one of the things that people with temporal lobe epilepsy experience.
Say that again.
Saying that's exactly what we're saying before. Like it's putting into words exactly what we're agreeing, like what you were mentioning, and we came to a conclusion of. So it's getting deeper, and it'll actually give you ways to use this stuff. It's funny because this is actually extremely powerful. No one actually wants to spend the time to look at it.
Yeah, I thought it was 1:31, but it's 1:31. So I'll Oh
Yeah,
wow, I didn't do that then. I didn't stop sharing that then. That just stopped sharing. That wasn't me that stopped sharing it.
It's not.
But
But
yeah,
it'll
I
get
mean,
it'll
go on.
it'll get to some of it pretty soon. We haven't looked into too much of it, but I don't know. At least it guides the conversation somewhere. You can pause it and talk. I'm not sure how long you're gonna be on here.
Well, there's a link to the video for anyone in the chat that wants to go and check it out. I better not play too much of it though, because I don't want to get done.
Just
You know, copyright, because we're not talking. I'm not talking enough. I'm sat there just listening to what he's saying, and I'm like, wow, yeah. Well, I like the way it went. You know, he basically said, but hang on a second. That does not mean that spiritual experiences are the result of an epileptic event. It's not. It's not saying that basically anybody that's having a spiritual experience is having an epileptic event.
Yeah, you're saying it's like an organic process.
It's an organic process
and when they just look at this, it kind of mimics something something in the temporal lobe, and it's kind of funny because temple is right in that word, right? Temporal.
Yeah. The temples. Isn't it? Yeah, we got Christos back again. in, out, shake it all about. You do the hokey cokey and you turn around. That's
Yeah,
what it's
sorry,
all
it's getting
about.
like it's getting all crackly when I join now. You know, it's like as soon as I fix one thing with this platform, then another thing happens. That's why I keep coming
Yeah,
back in and out.
yeah. I think the Restream has a little bit to do with it. It's yeah. We're using a free thing, man, and I can't do. This is the only way we can at the moment on my channel because I've used my 20 hours with StreamYard. That was used up yesterday, so I got to wait till Christmas Day before they refill my free.
Right.
But
Yeah. I'm about to start paying for StreamYards here by the end of the month probably. I plan to start streaming and start setting something up. Like you think like for channels like you or other people that don't have the premium StreamYard that like I would be able to stream for like another person's channel? Do you think that's something we could work out if ever needed?
what you connect people. You can connect anybody's channel to the to your StreamYard if you've got if you pay. Well, I mean, yeah, if you pay, or not even if you pay. Like with StreamYard, you can connect to any channel that you've got the login for. But for people on your team, so that they can log into the StreamYard and use it as well, they need to be on the team, and there's different brackets depending on how much you pay. So if you pay the lowest bracket, the cheapest StreamYard, you can only have 2 team members. The next tier is 6 team members. The next tier is 10 to 15 team members or something. It's the same with Restream as well. They're doing it in the same sort of way, but Restream are giving access to things that you have to pay for with StreamYard, and also they like the animated background that I've got going on is free, but you can't have any sort of animated background when you use StreamYard. You can use pictures, but you can't have an animated background.
Well, yeah, people use like OVS. But with
Yeah,
Streamer, you could just make different accounts and get their free trial. You don't have to pay them.
you end up after a year, you end up with like 8 new fucking Gmail accounts. You had to
But
open to be able to get.
up and deleting them either way. Fuck them. Don't let them harness your data. Fuck these people. They can build profiles and shit.
What stops me from doing that is that I still have to give them my bank details and everything
No,
to
you
be
don't.
able to. You sign up. You have to sign up to the free trial. You have to give them your card details, your bank card details, so that they can take the payment straight away when they want to take it.
Go to a gas station and buy.
You can cancel it. You can cancel it before the trial's up. You can say, "Oh, actually, no, I don't want to do this," but it means that the door is open then to you forgetting to cancel it in time.
You can go to a gas station, buy like a $15 prepaid card. Don't use the money on it until the end, right? And they don't expire for like over a year. So you just do that, just spend the money at the end and get a new one. Buy a new one with it.
You have to give them your details to get a card.
No, you don't. You pay cash in the gas station.
Oh, you can't. That sort of thing isn't available here, man. You can't get that sort of thing in Spain.
Anywhere you want. Just everyone wears masks anyways.
Yeah, you can't do that here in Spain. You have to give your passport or your identity card just to get a throwaway phone SIM card. You can't do anything anonymously here anymore. Nothing.
That's ridiculous. I thought it was bad over here.
Nah, mate. Spain is bad. Europe is bad. Europe is really bad.
Okay, well I'm saying
Yeah,
even if you're not trying to hide your identity, it doesn't matter. All I'm saying is you can just make new accounts to get oh yeah, but you're saying the
Yeah.
credit card. But you can still give them your credit card then for the prepaid thing, and then either way you can just use new free trials. Just keep using the same card. Rental input. StreamYard, I think you can get like 60 hours or something, right? Per month for free or some shit like that.
something like.
And I'm back. I don't know if it's Restream doing it or if it's my VPN doing it. But it's a bit annoying. Keep getting kicked out of my own stream.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. Whenever I get StreamYards going and I'm paying a subscription for it, if I can ever help people like you or others out, I definitely will. I'm gonna head out because my phone. I have a new phone. I just need to put the SIM card in it. I'm still using this old phone, and the battery is shit. So like my battery's draining really fast. Plus, this restream is like making it very difficult to have like a normal
worries,
panel
man.
and conversation. So I'm gonna get out of here and get on with work. But Richie, I definitely look forward to talking to you more. And I appreciate you having me on here for the short time I was.
Hey man, you're always
Love.
welcome. Always welcome.
Much love, bro.
Much
All
love.
right.
Thank you,
Good to
Christos.
see you.
Looking
Good to
forward
see
to
you,
it.
Cage. Keep up the good work, Cage.
Take it easy.
Much love. All right, guys.
Have a good day. Clean them, dude.
Oh.
Thank you.
You know, I love sweeping. Just sweeping floors. Love sweeping floors. And there's a Terry Pratchett book called The Thief of Time, and there's a monk, and he's like the, you know, he's proper Shaolin monk, you know, like everybody respects him because he's just, wow, he's just the man. But anytime anybody goes to find him, he's always got his broom with him, and he's always sweeping the floor because it's the esoteric meaning, like behind sweeping the floor and taking your time to sweep the floor and taking care over your movements and the way you sweep the floor. It's very, you know, important. I don't know. I always love sweeping. When I was working as a labourer, they said go and sweep the yard, and like the yard's just covered in shit and dust. And
When you sweep, trios, when you sweep in towards you in a way, right? You kind of
you
pile it
sweep
up.
in and away. Just like,
See that?
yeah,
But the first way is going in, though. You have to sweep. If you push it away from you, you're just kind of fucking up. You gotta kind of push it towards you at the beginning.
My name's Richie, by the way, Cage. Or
Richie.
007. You call me 00, double, or Richie. Like, my name's Richie.
007 Richie.
But it's
Rich.
007. It's not 007. It's double, the word 07, double O. Oh. That kind of. But when I went into Restream, I had to use my Magic Treehouse account because that's my main account now. Because my account, my channel on YouTube was 007. The channel that got deleted was 007. And
You know what's really weird about that?
cool.
When I was young, we used to go to our friend. We used to go to our family friend's cottage when I was really young. We went there a few times, and like this is like you're going into like the middle of the forest and fucking nowhere, and they had the exact same thing. It was spelled out with a sign 007. and
That's
it had
cool.
a sign pointing towards like the random forest. It was kind of weird. And then your name's fucking magic. Get the fuck out of here. This is an illusion. This is weird.
It's just that that's one of the beautiful things about this reality, dude. You know, it's I forgot to change my clicker. I forgot to change that. I meant to change that at the beginning.
I bet you're somehow related to those people.
Say again.
I bet you're somehow related to those people. I don't know how, but you're somehow related to them for sure. If you dig deep into it.
So my surname is, there's a lot of Averys, I think, in America, and it even became a Christian name in America. So, people being called Avery as their Christian name. So my I don't know how many great grandfather was Henry Avery, the pirate, like the famous pirate that got away with 400 million, and then they never found him, but I contest that they did find him, and he did a deal with the Freemasons and the Jesuits, and he got in on the birth of the takeover of America. That's why my family became Freemasons. That's why we founded a lodge in just outside London and stuff, because of that, all linked to that.
Oh, you have your family in Freemasonry.
Yeah, I'm the first male to not
What lodge?
become a
What lodge
Freemason.
Numbers
Do you know what?
significant.
I'm not sure. It's Hewenden Lodge in High Wycombe. Hewenden Lodge. I think it's like lodge number 60 something.
Mm.
I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure.
Have you been involved in it at all? Or?
In the Freemasonry? No. When I was supposed to be handed the torch, but I wasn't. And around the same time that my granddad fell out with the lodge, like about 6 months after falling out with the lodge, he had a freak accident and ended up in hospital on a life support machine, and my dad had to switch the machine off. And then from that moment, things just with my dad's business and everything just started going shitty and going wrong. When my parents got back from the hospital after turning the machine off and letting my granddad die, and my granddad was my granddad was my dad really for the first 6 years, because my dad was always away in America and Russia and China on business, and so he was more of a father figure to me than my dad was. And so when he died, it was a big thing for me. But when my parents got back from the hospital, I was talking to him in my room, and I'd been having a conversation with him for quite some time in my room, and they interrupted the conversation, my granddad buggered off, and I don't consciously remember the conversation, but I think he told me what was going on. And it was basically, my dad wanted me to be a Freemason, and he didn't. He was absolutely, completely against me becoming a Freemason. And so he didn't want me being in the school that I was in or anything. The school that I was in was a preparatory school for...
Well, like the Malloy or something?
For barristers and, all of that shit. It was funded by the lodge that my family had founded or been involved in the founding of. So, like 3-4 years later, my parents had to take me out of that school because I wasn't I wasn't applying myself. I didn't want to be
Hold
part
on,
of it. I wasn't fucking.
Rich, you said
Yeah.
your dad. There's something you said you're having a conversation with your dad, and they came in and
My
interrupted it.
granddad. My
You're
with
with
my granddad's. Well, with his
grand-
spirit. Like
Mm.
because they said you can't have been talking to granddad. He like sorry, Rich, but granddad died about 4 hours ago. Granddad died because we had to switch the machine off, and they told me what happened because I was quite, for my age, I was quite smart, intelligent, and they told me what had happened. They told me that he'd had an accident and he was in a coma, and they had to switch the machine off, and that was at about 12:30. They switched the machine off at about 12:30, and they got home at about 4:30 in the morning, and that's when they heard me talking to him, and then they walked in on the conversation. Obviously, there was nobody there, but
Wait, hold on. So they shut off the machine, quote unquote, machine at 12:30. So what is that?
Yeah.
What time is that?
At midnight, 12:30, midnight, 12:30, midnight. It was around 12:30, midnight.
Or it could be like 12:30. It could be like 11:30.
I mean, my memory just says it was around the 12:30, 12:45 mark a.m. that they did it. But I mean, we can't trust our memory, can we? We can't really 100% trust our memory. So I don't know. I can't say with conviction.
And he told you not to get into it.
That's my feeling. That's what I.
Well, you wouldn't be allowed
Suppose I'm supposing that 45 years or like 39 years later, I'm sat here and I'm thinking, why has my life gone the way it has? Why have I felt the way I have? Why have I always been so against this shit? Why have I always felt? Why do I feel so strongly about it? Why do I feel like I know this shit? And and I think back, and that was the first experience that I had of something mystical. But I don't have the only conscious memory I have is of my parents walking in. I don't remember the conversation leading up to that point. They were sat outside my door for about half an hour listening to me talking before they came in. And they walked in because what I was talking about, the things, they could only hear my side of the conversation. And there's this little 6.5-year-old lad, the things that were coming out of my mouth,
You want to tell you the truth, Rich? He got kicked out. I'll tell you the truth, though, if you want to hear it. Why these things went the way they did. When you get back, we'll talk.
And we're back.
Why they were listening to is because this. A man on his deathbed is somebody who tends to speak, right? So I'm sure your father had a different type of funeral, okay? He had a funeral for the family, and then he had a Masonic funeral. There's different rites to it. It's very complicated. And pretty much what they were doing was they were listening in because a man on his deathbed is going to want to tell his son these certain things and go against his oaths, which are binding.
Dude, the
He was balls
conversation
deep.
I was having, but I was at home in my bedroom, and it was 4 hours after they'd switched the machine off.
Even when you're dying, you're not allowed to speak. You're gonna get fucked. So that's why they're making sure he wasn't doing that and stopping him from it, because they probably liked him as a person. So that's probably why they interrupted it.
The reason that they walked in, like they knew that interrupting the conversation would stop it, right? So they did that deliberately, and they told me the reason they did it was because what I was talking about, I was too young. I was too young to be talking about. I was too young to be talking. The things that were coming out of my mouth, I was too young to be saying the things that were coming out of my mouth. It was an adult level conversation that I was having, and they were like, "Whoa, who are you talking to? Why are you saying these things?" I'm talking to Granddad. You can't be talking to Granddad, son. My dad just, I remember it. I remember
He's
this
going
bit
against his
clearly, right?
Masonic oath.
Yeah.
He's going
Oh
against
yes,
his.
yeah. He was, yeah,
You're
yeah,
not allowed to do that. That's why they're
yeah.
blocking it. And they were being nice to him, actually, in
But
my
he was,
opinion.
but it was his spirit that was doing it. His body was being interned. He was being interned, like he was being,
They're trying to transition him, bro. But
yeah.
it gets really deep if you look into. Personally, I know people in the highest levels of that too. I'm sure I could find out all about that if I really looked into it. But I really had show no interest in this. What I know is that there's tenets, there's something to be learned, and not all of it's bad, right? Some people have this
No,
negative connotation
no,
with me. There's a lot of really good people in there, and
right.
it's just like a form of alchemy. It all depends on what
It's
side you want to play for. It's not
it's
someone
like
horrible or evil.
it's like
So
everything else, right? It's like everything else that exists in this realm. There is the light side and the dark side to everything, and it's the same. Right, Freemasonry was infiltrated. After its infiltration, that's when the greedy, egoistic, selfish, narcissistic
it's
side.
not even real masonry. It's exoteric masonry instead of the real esoteric teachings that should be taught.
Yeah.
Now it's all just connections, making money, business. But really, that's
So
just built. We need the stuff from the ins. We need the things that create the rough ashlar. I'm sure you must have heard of the rough ashlar before, if you right. So everything starts as a rough ashlar. It's our duty to chip it away and create the perfect, the perfect cube in order to build a foundation. So,
well, I mean, it's like what they're doing. There's the stone that the builders rejected, right? And
that's really the keystone.
yeah,
That's the main stone that's needed.
and
Yep.
so yeah, it's the one. It's the one that's missing at the moment. But it's the two sides of masonry are the builders that rejected the stone, and the builders that want the stone now and don't, like, hey, no, we don't reject you. That sort of, do you get where I'm coming from? There's a light side and a dark side to masonry, man. The lower levels, crikey, the first 20, probably 28 degrees, it's pretty much all good. It's not. It's only once you get up to the 30, 31, 32, those
Well,
levels of
yes, sir.
masonry.
Yes, sir. That's all Scottish Rite masonry, and then we have what they call cryptic masonry, which would be on the York Rite, where you get the Knights Templar and all that. And then really, in masonry, there's only 3 degrees in masonry. They call it Blue Lodge. Anything outside of that is not true masonry. That is something that they call it a concordant. They call it a concordant body, right? So I can go like. If I go to the Scottish Rite, it depends what path I want to go into, right? So I can get into like the SRIC, which would be like the Rosicrucian invite only sector of it, in that. But there's like many paths to the same path, right? But they all lead to the same road at the end of the day. So I'm saying it depends how far you advance up this level. And I could tell it right now just by the way you talk. I was gonna say this because I've talked to the highest degrees that run this sector over here, and yeah, we can have good conversation with them, and it would just be like you would fit directly in. So I could tell you had something else in your background. You're not just coming up with this stuff out of nowhere. I think you know a lot more than you allude on to be honest with you, which is fine because you can't just spew it all out. But
Dude, the other side of it as well is that I sit here feeling like I know a lot, but I'm not quite sure how to articulate what I feel that I know. And also knowledge is a tricky one, right? I can tell you what I know, but unless you know it also, It's only
Well,
a
I already,
point of view.
I already,
It's only a
yeah.
it's only a
I already
point
know.
of view,
Like,
though, isn't it?
yeah, it's like belligerent to me because like there's no application or real fortification of anything. Like we just know these like what? How are we using them? Why are we
Mm.
sitting here talking right now? We should not be having this conversation.
I mean, but this is the thing. I feel like, so I've been humbled enough to know that, right, I'm really powerful, right? But I'm a bit of a loose cannon still, because there's still aspects of myself that I've not quite got full control of. It is possible to tip me over the edge, and and my
Very,
circumstances, my
very
circumstances mean that I'm not able to refuel properly. You know, I'm malnourished. I've lost a heck of a lot of weight. I've lost probably 30 kilos in the last 3 years, and it's, so I'm not. I think
So,
that's
so what about
partly
this?
why.
A solution. What about this? We get on a proper diet and we start doing martial arts.
You need money for the proper diet side.
Money will be
That's
provided.
the whole point.
If you're committed, money
Yeah,
will be.
you have to. Yeah, I'm trying to. The thing is, that I'm trying to live my life with that, in that mindset that, I don't have any bad intention for money. The only thing I need money for is for sustenance. It's energy. Money is, and I'm not sitting here. I don't want to get rich. I'm not interested in becoming like, if I were to get rich, that would be fucking awesome, because then I'd start doing things with the money. Like, I'd build my tree house, I'd get my healing center on the fucking, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm not allowed to get lots of, like, become really rich, because the system perhaps is keeping me down, so that I can't fully achieve what I want to achieve. But there's also, it might be that, because I've gone the wrong way. I went the wrong way in my 20s, and I stayed on that wrong path for a good fucking 10, 15 years. I was on the wrong path, because I was using a lot.
With, oh man, with proper mental application, you could obtain anything you'd want in this reality. Physical things like that are very easy. You can have whatever you'd like.
At least I can see when I drop off. I can see when it doesn't freeze me, it kicks me off the stream completely.
I know. Then I interrupt and say something.
Go ahead, man. I'll stop talking. I'll listen to you.
I'm just saying, if you want this physical shit, again, it's a cage that you put into your own mind. You know what I mean? You can have anything you want in physicality. These are very easy things to obtain. A true this is a grander scale. Okay, if we need resources to get to battle, we'll get whatever you need. Okay, what do you need? How much money would you like? That's irrelevant. I'm saying, if you actually want to do something, it'll come to fruition either way. If you actually put your mind to it, if you say, actually, I'm actually going to do it, I'm going to wake up and actually do it, then you're not going to have to worry about that. It'll all be there. Guarantee it.
That's
I 100% guarantee it.
So that's where, for me personally, that's where I experience, or I run into either myself, like my aspects of my ego from previous experience that jump up and say, what are you doing, man? Like, don't be an idiot. This isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. It's not going to work. It never worked in the past before. It's not going to work now. Why'd you keep? And these thoughts, because of previous experiences, and it's either that.
Precondition.
It's either the aspect of the ego that's doing that, or it's the cheeky monkey, whatever you want to call it, cheeky monkey, intelligent entity that is not, that it hasn't got a corporeal form, that is, like the devil on your shoulder kind of thing, that's trying
Now
to
that you mention that,
put you down.
okay, now that you mention that, this will be a perfect tie into this right now. This will actually put it all together. Can you please put on This is what your grandfather's trying to save you from. Can you please put on the video I put in the last private? It's very short. It's less than it's a few minutes long only. It's like straight to the point. And I'll show the whole fucking plan, why you have that warning, and it actually has a good ending to it. They can't block it after.
This is a joke, comedic parody. This thing.
Yeah, it's a joke. YouTube, chill out, Susan. Relax, Susan.
Can you see that?
Yep.
An illusion it will be.
It's
So
my
large,
channel,
so vast, it will escape their perception. Those who will see it will be thought of as insane. We will create separate fronts to prevent them from seeing the connection between us. We will behave as if we are not connected to keep the illusion alive. Our goal will be accomplished one drop at a time, so as to never bring suspicion upon ourselves. This will also prevent them from seeing the changes as they occur. We will always stand above the relative field of their experience, for we know the secrets of the Absolute. We will work together, always, and will remain bound by blood and secrecy. Death will come to he who speaks. We will keep their lifespan short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways so that they will never see what is happening. We will use soft metals, aging accelerators, and sedatives in food and water. Also, in the air. They will be blanketed in poison everywhere they turn. The soft metals will cause them to lose their minds. We will promise to find a cure from our many fronts. Yet we will feed them more poison. The poisons will be absorbed through their skin and mouths. They will destroy their minds and reproductive systems. From all this, their children will be born dead, and we will conceal this information. The poisons will be hidden in everything that surrounds them, in what they drink, eat, breathe, and wear. We must be ingenious in dispensing the poisons, for they can see far. We will teach them that the poisons are good, with fun images and musical tones. Those they look up to will help. We will enlist them to push our poisons. They will see our products being used in film and will grow accustomed to them and will never know their true effect. When they give birth, we will inject poisons into the blood of their children and convince them it is for their help. We will start early on, when their minds are young. We will target their children with what children love most, sweet things. When their teeth decay, we will fill them with metals that will kill their mind and steal their future. When their inability to learn has been affected, we will create medicine that will make them sicker and cause other diseases for which we will create yet more medicine. We will render them docile and weak before us by our power. They will grow depressed, slow, and obese. And when they come to us for help, we will give them more poison. We will focus their attention towards money and material goods, so that the many never connect with their inner self. We will distract them with fornication, external pleasures, and games, so that they may never be one with the oneness of it all. Their minds will belong to us, and they will do as we say. If they refuse, we shall find ways to implement mind-altering technology into their lives. We will use fear as our weapon. We will establish their governments and establish opposites within. We will own both sides. We will always hide our objective but carry out our plan. They will perform the labor for us, and we shall prosper from their toil. Our families will never mix with theirs. Our blood must be pure, always, for it is the way. We will make them kill each other when it suits us. We will keep them separated from oneness by dogma and religion. We will control all aspects of their lives and tell them what to think and how. We will guide them kindly and let them think they are guiding themselves. We will foment animosity between them through our factions. When a light shall shine among them, we shall extinguish it by ridicule or death, whichever suits us best. But if they ever find out they are our equal, we shall perish then. This they must never know. If they ever find out that together they can vanquish us, they will take action. They must never, ever find out what we have done. For if they do, we shall have no place to run, for it will be easy to see who
Right at the end.
and future lives. For this reality will transcend many generations and lifespans. This covenant is sealed by blood. Our blood. We, the ones who from heaven to earth came. This covenant must never, ever be known to exist.
That's where I'm going to cut in with a little something. One of their most useful tools has been the one of fear, and they've been very careful to attach narratives, create narratives that induce fear.
That's what they
And
said.
This,
That was their whole
this
game
whole-
plan. Fear is their weapon.
Right. So they're saying that they are the ones that from heaven fell. They're trying to make out that they're the fallen angels, and that the whole narrative that's attached to that story. They're not. They're men. That's all they are. They're men. We are
This
more
is in their
powerful than
this
they
is in
are.
their-
Yeah, this is in their
It's like-
minds. Yeah.
This is,
Yeah.
I don't, that's why I said you're playing the devil on your shoulder, right? So I showed you the devil talking and,
Yep.
and telling the whole plan, but they're scared of us.
Yeah. It's not like, right, but for me, it's not a devil anymore. Like, so back in it's probably 2019, I changed my perception of what it was. I just said, no. You're a cheeky monkey. You're not a djinn. You're not a demon. You're not a devil. You're
He's a
a
pussy.
cheeky little monkey. You're a
cheeky
cheeky little monkey, and you're just there. Really,
Oh.
you're there for my benefit. You're there for my benefit because what you're doing is you're training me. You're training me not to get triggered. You're training me to recognize my own thought. You're training me to recognize my own being, you're the reason that I stepped out of my ego and observed myself. So this cheeky monkey, or these cheeky monkeys, as far as I'm concerned, they're really
beneficial.
Yes.
It's a lesson to be
Yes.
learned.
Yeah. They show
Let's
you
finish
who
that.
you are.
It's
They
a good
show
fucking.
you who you are. Yeah, we haven't got long left till we right.
It must never, ever be written or spoken of. For if it is, the consciousness it will spawn will release the fury of the Prime Creator upon us. And we shall be cast in the depths from whence we came. And remain there until the end of time. of infinity itself.
They know they're fucked.
The thing is, they know what the story is within their paradigm, and that is the story within their paradigm. And I think what it means is that essentially what's going to happen is that when they die, their ego, if they've sold their soul, then all that remains is their ego, and when they die, that's it. Their ego is gone. Once your physical body dies, your ego dies with it. So I think part of consciousness, yeah, I think part of consciousness is like you can if you humble yourself, or you allow yourself to be humbled and to recognize the humility and the fact that really you are nothing. Who are you? Like the ego at the end of the day. Who is Richard? Richard Avery, who's this 007 fucking idiot that he sat there in his fucking room in Tenerife, can't even bloody like look after, can't even support himself, sat there on the bloody internet talking shit about, you know, how he feels and what he thinks and what his opinions are based on his personal experience. Fucking hell. That, you know, it's that side of you is what dies in this realm. And the only place it can exist is in this realm. And so because that is where they're stuck, that's, you know, it's like, wow, because they don't have this connection to their soul.
You have to learn. There's a certain way to do, like, pretty much like in order to get to something, right? You need the certain blocks or building blocks in order to get there, regardless. You can arrange them in different manners, but man, I'm not good at explaining stuff like this. But
no, but I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
martial
you're
arts,
right.
for example, really teaches us these tenets. And after we'll talk for a little bit, but if possible, before I get off of here, I'm gonna play one more thing, because this actually has deep esoteric meaning when it comes to these things. And this will actually, like, I'm pretty sure this will actually, like, you know, people who are actually studying this shit, which I'm sure a lot of people listening are, this will actually bring a whole lot together. And this is one of the few places that actually listen. I respect you a lot, Magic, Rich, for allow. I could tell you're enriched with certain aspects because you actually listen. You know, I know I do too, because I remember everything everyone ever says. It's stored in there. Like I'm never just I'm always analyzing it. I'm always looking into what everyone says. Like I'm on, you know, it's not one ear out the other. So
Yeah.
I've appreciated what everyone's been saying.
Well, it's like I was saying earlier about stepping out of yourself, like in your mind, stepping out of yourself, and observing the situation from a objective standpoint without judgment, just observing what's going on.
This is what it all gets.
It's like the third or fourth level of consciousness. If you read Gurdjieff, I don't know if you've read any Gurdjieff.
Gurdjieff? No, I haven't.
Oh mate, I've just finished reading the second book in his series on my channel, and the guy, yeah, he gets it. He, like, the book that I've just read was about other people that he'd met and the circumstances leading up to those meetings. Meeting with Remarkable Men is called, but like two of them are actually remarkable women. But he's got something called the Fourth Way that he taught in his institutions in the early 1900s, and it talks specifically about what the ego is, and And when you can find that place of observation, you're no longer in your ego. And it's really difficult for a lot of people. It's really difficult for me in certain situations. It's really difficult for me to step out of the situation and observe it, you know, in a calm and collected way.
There's techniques to learn about this, and it's kind of like what I shared in the private there. It really gets in.
Yeah, I've got that ready. Hang on.
These principles and tenets. It feeds off exactly what you're saying, and we can see these things being used everywhere. Look, you got the red and the blue pill pretty much right there.
Yeah, red and blue, yin and yang, as above, so below. It's all there, man.
There's 4 tenets in there, though.
And which is interesting. There's 4 tenets, right? I mean, there are 4. There's the earth, air, wind, and water, and I say that there's 4 aspects to being, which are emotional, spiritual, intellectual, and physical.
Yep, and usually they're saying it's a trinity, but really it's actually in a 4, and especially in Eastern philosophy.
There are trinities. There's a number of trinities that exist.
Depending on what
there's
4.
Also, there's also the 4 as well. Or 2 pairs. There's mate.
Forces. The
go.
forces.
A hybrid style of martial arts created by Grandmaster Yong Sok Kim. In this video, I wanted to detail a bit of his history developing it. Master Kim grew up in South Korea in the 1950s, just a few years after Japan ended its brutal occupation there. This was also at the same time as the arts of Taekwondo and Hapkido were officially born. He began studying martial arts as a child, when his father enrolled him in Hapkido classes to toughen him up. He spent several years training under various first-generation masters of both Taekwondo and Hapkido, before eventually opening his first Hapkido dojang in Seoul in 1969. He continued training and teaching with other up-and-coming masters of the time, most notably Master Kim Nam-jae, who still operates his dojang in Seoul today, as well as Master Kang Mu-young, who also continues to teach out of San Diego. In the year 1976, Master Kim moved to Colombia to begin spreading these Korean arts to the Western world. At the time, martial arts were not very familiar on this side of the world, especially in countries like Colombia. He was among the first 5 Korean masters to bring Korean arts to Colombia. Over the next few years, he opened and developed his own academy in the city of Medellin, teaching to survive as he had no knowledge of Spanish yet and was working to support his wife and 2 young daughters. In 1980, due to the growing danger and threats to his family, as well as the rapidly increasing drug trade in Medellin, Master Kim set his sights on the United States. He left an extremely successful academy in Colombia that continued to thrive after his departure. He found an opportunity here in the city of New Orleans, where he started by teaching at the local police academy before eventually opening another studio of his own. It quickly grew to success.
I'll turn it down a bit so that we can talk over it, and so that it's not too.
Let's get into the principles.
You can still hear it, okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch Master Kim use his hand like a hammer. Now his head. That's right, that piece of wood. Now watch how Master Kim removes it. That's a heck of a way to build a house, ladies and gentlemen.
When he goes up, you got it too?
Discipline.
And then again in 1983, it was time for Master Kim's next chapter. He moved to San Diego, California, and opened his next school, as well as another right across the Mexican border in Tijuana. He spent his time traveling between the two and growing his 2 newest schools. This is where he eventually settled and spent several decades teaching until his retirement. His schools still operate in each of the countries that he spent time in, and his students from around the world have fond memories from all the time spent with Master Kim, whether brief or extensive.
If I lose connection again, it'll reconnect, so don't.
Using the skills he learned from his decades
be
of experience
patient, and
in
it'll
Taekwondo
drop.
and
It'll
Hapkido,
cut back in
in
again.
addition to his own techniques and style. First, let's break down the meaning of Tongdoryu by looking at each individual character in both its original Chinese writing, interpreted through Korean Hanja pronunciation, and modern Korean Hangul. The first character, similarly pronounced Zhong in both Korean and Chinese, translates to center or balance. The principle of this concept is the meeting in the middle of all elements. All positive and negative energy sum to net zero. This is related to the Hapkido principle Hua, which represents sum and harmony. The Zhong also represents the marrying of Taekwondo and Hapkido, the two arts that Master Kim used to create Jongdo-ryu. This principle is also about remaining in the middle when conflict is present. Master Kim once told me, "Only the wind knows where the wind comes from and where it goes. I will not stand in front of those winds." Wise words. The second character, pronounced Dao in Chinese and Do in Korean, translates to way, method, or direction. This is formed by two Chinese characters, Shou, meaning head, and Chuo, meaning go. This is one of the most common characters seen in martial arts, at the ending of both Taekwondo and Hapkido, for instance, but also across many others, like Judo or Karate-do. This signifies that there's a procedure or system behind the techniques in the art, a proper way to go about them. Do also signifies direction and purpose. In the words of Master Kim, to achieve right direction, humans must achieve harmony at three levels: thoughts, feelings, and actions. Now the third character, pronounced Lia in Chinese and Liu in Korean, translates to flow or style. This is the same character as the water principle in Hapkido, hence the correlation between flowing and water. What this character represents for us is organization and the constant sharing of knowledge to develop and learn from one another. The Liu, or flow, is the only way we can grow. We all contribute to it and we all rely on it. The advancing of martial arts from ancient to modern times and then to times in the future is reliant on generations to continue to learn from the past and work toward a better future. Water is arguably the most essential element of life, but when misused, can cause death and destruction. Liu represents both the calm and the potential danger. So put together, Jongdo-ryu directly translates to the way of flowing in the middle, which we call the way to righteousness. A martial artist training in Jongdo-ryu learns to be open-minded and treat every interaction as a learning opportunity. To be able to contribute the most to society, and those who learns to be open-minded and treat every interaction as a learning opportunity, no matter if it is a positive or negative interaction. We're not just here to learn how to defend ourselves, which is a simply reactionary practice, but instead to learn how to carry ourselves as humans in the most optimal way possible, to train ourselves physically, mentally, and spiritually to be able to contribute the most to society and those who live around us. Our martial art is not simply a sport or weeknight activity, but it is a way of life. Our style is traditional in the sense that its roots come from traditional arts, and we preserve many of their practices, but it is also modern that we have adapted techniques and practices to fit better with time period. Master Macio, who was Master Kim's first student in Colombia, explained some of this briefly in our interview on this channel.
The difference for me with Grandmaster Jonas Kim is that in Colombia, he taught the full range of martial arts, which comprehended not just the physical part, but the philosophical, mental, and many other components like breathing, meditation, and so on. For example, we had every Saturday we had an 8-hour class, and part of that class was physical conditioning. Part of that class, was forms and kicking and sparring. But a long piece of that class was learning other things like acupuncture, philosophy, meditation, and so forth. When Master Kim moved over here, he stopped teaching that because over here they are more interested in the physical part and very less interested on all the other components, which is in certain way a shame, knowing that one without the other one is not really a whole.
No matter if you are a martial artist or not, life should be about learning every day. New information is the only way we can grow, and sharing experiences with others as teachers, colleagues, or just as friends leads to more understanding and less conflict. This video was created as a brief commemoration to Grandmaster Kim's great career and retirement. Hopefully this video can help reach his ideas to new people. I'm I'm only scratching the surface here of the life and teachings of Master Kim. If you want to learn much more about him, or the Jongdo-ryu, I will put a link up to his book titled Jongdo-ryu, The Way to Righteousness. Stock is very limited. Congratulations, Master, and thank you all for watching. Most Hapkido programs in schools operate under 3 main principles. Let's talk about them. First off, this is not to say these ideas were created by Hapkido practitioners, nor are they exclusive to Hapkido. But this distinct combination of fundamentals is what defines our outlook as martial artists. The first principle is the water principle. You can see here the Korean and Chinese characters, pronounced Ryu and Lia, respectively, and this word directly translates to flow. As a side note, this word is also part of the federation I am a part of, the Jongdo-ryu, which also directly translates to the way of flowing in the middle, or as we say, the way to righteousness. Anyway, this principle can have multiple meanings. Just think about water and its many purposes. Most martial artists immediately think of Bruce Lee's monologue about water.
What it is, okay? I said empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
So of course, this is to say we are to be adaptable at any given moment. Realize the situation you are in and adjust yourself to it. Water always naturally flows with the direction of gravity and never against it. This should not only be applied to combat or even just to martial arts, but to life in general, in social settings, in your studies, in your hobbies. Be easygoing, go with the flow, and don't try to force things that shouldn't be. If something negative happens that is outside of your control, accept it and focus on what you can control. Water does not stop and protest that it is being treated unfairly. It just continues to flow with whatever current or direction it is being pulled into. Be open-minded to new ideas rather than thinking what you know is enough. Water, though soft and formless, is able to destroy stones in time by slowly eroding their surface. When water reaches an obstacle, it flows around it rather than trying to fight through it. Water can exist in multiple forms, hardening into ice or disappearing into gas at different temperatures. This again teaches us that existing in different states to fit the situation is vital. You may have to handle different attackers differently to reach a resolution. You may have to treat different students differently to reach them and receive a positive response. The key is again being adaptable. Water is the single most fundamental aspect of life. It nourishes living beings, and without it, life would cease to exist. However, it can be...
Just quickly, that is absolutely key. The ability to adapt. If you don't have the ability, adaptability. If you don't have adaptability, you will not survive.
Yes, this is why I'm showing this. To be used in all aspects of life. This is what it taught me. I was lucky enough to get involved in this when I was young, and it definitely, it's like I recommend everybody getting into it. I hope everybody can get into something like this because we need it.
What? See, right. This is where I have to make my ego sit down and say, right, just pipe down, right? Don't get too fucking full of yourself. But one of the things I'm really grateful for is that I eventually found the path. You know, like I didn't do any of this. I didn't do martial arts to discover that, or I didn't find Grandmaster Kim to discover about, you know, being balanced, being able to adapt, being able to the importance of reading. Go on.
I'm saying I didn't either. It comes naturally though, but teachings like this, it could sharpen a sword.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I kind of wish that I had. I wish I'd come across this when I was younger, because it took me 40 years. You know.
No, you still can. Because I see people who go, and they're way older than you, man. Way older. You can easily do it. It's never too late. I'm saying it's definitely positive. It's definitely not gonna hurt you. It's gonna make you a way stronger individual, guaranteed. Because look at the tenets. These tenets are the tenets we already know, and we have to learn either way. Right? And it depends where you go. If you have a really good group of people, it's like way better than going to like a lodge. You know?
Yeah.
And it's good for you too. It's gonna keep you more healthy and everything. You know what I mean, more energy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, for myself, it's good because it would give where I need something, you know. I need focus. Focus is really
You need an
important,
outlet.
and
You need to put,
I'm
you
still
need to put
getting
your energy
distracted.
into an outlet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a focused outlet, like, you know,
Yeah.
like an outlet that I can really focus intent and everything. But I mean, yeah, aside from watching YouTube videos, I can't afford to go and do any at the
This
moment.
isn't regular.
At this right
If you ever
now,
notice, this is not
right
regular
now.
YouTube stuff. You can, yes, you can afford it if you want to. Bro, I guarantee you can go there for free. If you're willing to do it, you don't have to pay. You have to actually really try.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the like if you're talking about a physical dojo kind of situation, or you're talking about doing it through an online thing, like, because I don't know if there's anywhere
Physically,
around here.
there's people everywhere. I guarantee you. I can link you up somewhere. Well, they'll let you go in there for free, and then you'll get the money and whatever. I guarantee you can link you up with something. 100%.
I'll tell you what. Like, drop me an email. My email is it should be in the description, but it's just wewritereality33@gmail.com. All right, drop me an email and we'll so that we're connected outside of YouTube, and I'll have a chat with you about it.
I got you.
Like, and also we can talk about doing another stream as well.
I don't want to talk about it. I want you to be serious and you actually have to do it.
Oh, mate, yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, obviously I mean that as well, but there's also going into it, you know, talking about things.
You just gotta show up, man. That's it.
Like I said, get in touch, man, and we'll you know, if it's possible to do that, I'll absolutely do that. It's possible, you know, and I'm not gonna say that things aren't possible, because
100%
anything's possible, man. Absolutely anything. It's one of the things, right, that my parents always told me when I was young, and I never fully appreciated until now, was that they used to tell me you can do anything you set your mind to.
Of course you can. Think about the word impossible. Think about the word impossible. It's written in the word I'm possible, which means impossible is impossible. It's I'm possible. What are they even talking about? It's right in the word. Can we finish the video, though, because it's getting good.
Dangerous as it is helpful. It can kill, it can drown, it can flood and destroy if not respected. Water operates on both ends of the spectrum depending on the situation, just as we as Hapkido practitioners strive to. The parallels here are really endless, and analogies like this are so interesting to ponder and explore. The second principle is the circle principle. I actually already have a video on this channel discussing this, called Hapkido in the Way of the Circle. Again, you can see the Korean and Chinese characters represented here, pronounced won and yuan, of course, translating directly to circle. Hapkido is generally considered a soft-style martial art, in great part because many of its movements in self-defense, for instance, are derived from circular blocks and takedowns, rather than direct straight lines, which are more synonymous with hard styles. Taking down or controlling an opponent who weighs more than you is more easily done with a circle because it includes their weight in the equation, rather than just you relying on your own strength. Circles help you to redirect attacks, to flow at them as stated in the water principle, rather than opposing them head-on. Circles create or continue momentum that then give us options on where to go next, depending on what the situation offers. However, this principle also applies to more than combat. Life itself is circular. We learn things and evolve from them, before hopefully passing off better experiences to the next generation. The idea is, like in a relay race, we pass off our experiences to those who come after us, with more knowledge than we had at their age, so that they can advance further than we did. If we were to hoard the things we learned and expect the next generation to learn the same way we did, facing the same hardships and making the same mistakes we did, we would severely halt the progression of society. Technology and medicine are able to advance as much as they do because each generation passes off the progress they made, so the next can build from it rather than start from square one. In the same way, we as martial arts teachers, or even parents, or simply members of society, should contribute what we can, because we were given opportunities of our own in our lives. It is our responsibility to try to make the world a better place than it was before us. That is the principle of the circle. What we call the golden rule, treat others how you want to be treated, is the foundation of the circle principle. Circles have no edges or ends, and are therefore less predictable. Our thinking is to be open or circular.
Sorry, I'm just going to pause it there because we've still got a couple of minutes. And I don't want to forget, right? That's exactly what I said yesterday. The golden rule. Do unto others as you'd have done unto you. And it's the golden rule, man.
Basic morale. It's basic natural law.
Yeah.
These things are immutable. You cannot change them in the universe. These are basic teachings. It's just basic things that people should already know. That's all these teachings are telling you. And sometimes you need to physically go and do it in order to really understand things.
Because it sort of locks it in. But right, so when I learn something, once I've done it physically, that's it. It's locked in, and I remember it. It like muscle memory or something, you know. So. I watch, if I want to learn how to do something practically, I watch somebody do it, and then I apply myself to it, and mimic what the person I watched did.
You can do it at home. You don't even have to go. You can do it by yourself at home too. You don't even have to go anywhere, technically.
Yeah.
Unless you want some like direction, and maybe it's easier for you to be committed if you're expected to show up. You know, but. It's up to you. It depends on what type of learner you are.
Yeah, me personally, I can't read from, I can't learn from books. I learn from doing. And that's what, like, I think it pisses me off that I'd need to have a certain. Like, I can't get an apprenticeship now. I'm 45 years old and there's nobody that would give me an apprenticeship. But I'd love to go and do an apprenticeship to become, like in the trades, electrician, mechanic, engineer, all of it. I'd like to do all of them. Like to learn how to do all of those things physically. Because once I've learned it, it will always be there. I know I'll always be able to access that information,
You can do it, man. You can learn plenty. You can pretty much download any program you want. What program would you like to learn? It depends. If you're good at discernment, you're good at breaking down the information. You can easily download it into yourself.
Yeah, that's for when you need it, innit? It's like when you need it, you'll be able to do it. It's like when I needed to our tap was leaking in the kitchen, the washer had gone, and the water was pissing out everywhere, and we couldn't afford a plumber. And so I was like,
oh, for God's sakes. Voynich. I hear you in the background.
it's a pretty simple thing. Oh, did I cut out and I've just come back in?
Yes, again.
Ah,
they don't like you today, do they?
No, they don't. They don't. Listen, let's finish this video, right? And then I'm gonna wrap up because we've been going for 3 hours and 30 minutes.
That's exactly
rather than close-minded thinking in a straight line. The Earth shows us as it spins in a daily cycle, complementing days with nights, while also revolving in a larger annual circle that, being circular, keeps us intact.
I disagree with this model of the Earth, but never mind. It doesn't matter.
The
principle. The
principle
remains. The principle remains.
Rewind it a little bit.
It does.
Because it's can you rewind it a little bit so we can see what he's saying at the end, because it ties it in. Like this stupid model is terrible.
Of the sun, thus sustaining life. With each passing revolution or year, we become wiser, and we then spend the next year building from the progress of the last. Life is full of repetition, and as practitioners of Hapkido, we learn that we should take advantage of this repetition by applying our learned experiences from one instance to the next. The final principle is called different things by different federations, in English that is, sometimes the sum principle, or harmony principle, or non-resistance principle. Let's look at the Korean and Chinese characters, pronounced hwa and hua. This directly translates to the word harmony. If we look at the Korean flag, we can actually see this principle visually. The center circle represents an umyang, which you may have more commonly heard referred to as yin and yang in Chinese history. This simply means the coming together of positive and negative, or harmony. The opposing colors of red and blue are intertwined to make a full circle, adding together peacefully. Even these outer four trigrams represent opposing forces in nature. Sometimes interpretations view these as heaven, earth, fire, and water. While being opposites, they still coexist harmoniously. Take physics for instance. If you add up all the forces in the world, account for all the directions of each vector, you will always net to zero force overall. Newton's third law of motion shows that every force is met by an equally opposing force. Or if you view this as an electric circuit, if you have a closed circuit and add up the currents throughout that circuit, you will always sum to zero. No matter what force you apply into the world, you cannot break this law of physics. Bringing this back to martial arts, we are taught to meet attacks and aggressiveness with defense and calm, not with opposition or aggressiveness in return. Achieving this balance is important to resolving any conflict. If someone punches at us, just because we can meet this with incapacitating strikes of our own, and it may even be justified, we can still opt to a position of immobilization where nobody is harmed, protecting ourselves and our attacker simultaneously. In life, it is important to recognize this principle as well. Everyone is different, and everyone has different interests and goals, but we rely on each other to live. Farmers who produce food need to rely on engineers who provide electricity, who need to rely on construction workers who provide infrastructure, who rely on doctors to provide medical care, who rely on the farmers who provide food. The list is endless and repeats itself because all exist together to create harmony. Difference and variety are not only welcomed, but necessary. The three principles tie together when we can see that meeting an attack with a circular diffusion and peaceful outcome show that we can flow with what we are presented with, like water, moving in a circle, obviously like the circle principle, and bringing conflict to peace, with the harmony principle. You cannot have one of these without the others. I personally love viewing these in different contexts and with different analogies to see how our training is not simply intrinsic, but reflects how we live our lives. A true martial art affects the practitioner in every form of living and creates a better human being from the one who began their training. The techniques we teach and learn are important and vital, but as I grow older and wiser, I see that these principles hold much deeper and more profound value, because they are the keys to furthering society and bringing our differences together to achieve peace. I hope you learned something from this video, or at least had your mind open to more ideas. I know I did. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, man. I like it. Still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Some good
Cool.
stuff. Though.
I'm gonna wrap it up. I just want to say thank you very much to my guests. Voy, you've been absolutely amazing, dude. The input today, I mean, I found it difficult to get a word in edgeways with you, to be honest. Next time, I'd quite like it next time, Voy, if you didn't talk so much on the next stream that you're on. But...
Voy, can you ever shut the fuck up, man? I can't get a word in here.
I know, it's God, crazy. But much love to everybody, to the chat room. Isabella Live, good to see you. Thanks for being here, man. And Brian Evans, you're dominating the chat at the moment. We've got 7 people in, but I don't know exactly who's in because it's only. Oh, Paul from Newcastle was in earlier. If you're still here, Paul.
In all seriousness, thank you, Rich. Thank you, Voy, for having me on here. You know, much love to everybody.
Anytime, dude. Like I said, do me a favor and get in contact on email, and
I will do an electric mullet trip, but I will soon. I'll be back.
Cool. Like I'm doing this. I do this all the time. No. See you later. Voy, are you there? Are you gonna bless us with your voice before I shut the stream off, or are you actually not there, but you've just not left the stream? So I'm going to take it that he's just not there and he's left the stream. I'm going to come into the camera. So thank you very much for everybody that's been here for 3 hours and 36 minutes. And I'll be back again. I've got the Children of the Sun to read, but I'm going to use OBS to do it. But I might actually still, maybe, because I'm going to see what OBS, how OBS works with Restream. So I'll be back. Much love. Thank you very much, everybody. And if you find yourself in a position to be able to and you'd like to, there are links in the description to help support the channel in a financial way. And that's how I'm existing on this earth at the moment, thanks to the Spanish government. The only way I can exist on this earth at the moment is through the help of my subscribers and viewers. So thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like and share and all of that YouTube bollocks that we're expected to say at the end of a stream, and or at the beginning or whenever. And much love to everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you.